Um, no, I feel like that's almost more like astrology.
Astrology? Yeah, is that what it was? That's
Yeah.
what we're going with,
I
astrology?
mean, the
Okay.
sun's a star.
With Bill Gunter, Patrick Perret.
There you go, kids. You don't need to go to school today. Patrick Perret has already given you some information. Tell your parents you're just going to stay home. If you caught that, the sun is a star. We are all over it this morning.
And Jen Jensen.
I can't even. I mean,
On your home of the Gamecocks.
I don't know. Everything's going wrong, and I don't know what to do. I don't know, but I might go back to me.
107.5 The Game.
Welcome in on a Monday morning post Masters. We have a Masters winner. I don't think any of us picked the Masters winner, Patrick.
I did.
Did you?
There's on my little card in here before I left.
Oh, on the card in your office that we never see.
Patrick
Right.
was in here.
Huh?
Patrick was in here.
Did you see the card?
I saw that there was a card. I couldn't remember who was on it. We didn't make official picks on
It's true.
Okay,
the
so
end
see,
of our show,
of course
so it
not.
never
That's
got
the one time I
mentioned.
get it right. There's nothing official.
Explains why I don't remember that at all.
I
Scotty,
mean, we didn't even say who our picks were. I didn't say that I was picking Brooksy, but I was picking Brooksy. in
you were
my
going
heart.
Brooksy?
Yeah.
Okay. I really didn't have a good pick. I know I didn't pick Scotty Scheffler. Let's just get that out of the way. Scheffler 10 under for the tournament, opens up with a solid Thursday, but it was the Friday round that really propelled him, a 67. And then he shoots matching 71s on Saturday and Sunday for a 278 and $2.7 million, and most importantly, a green jacket. What'd
No,
you do
most
with
importantly, the $2.7 million.
I don't think that was. I'll have to go back and look here. That's not his biggest win in the last few weeks,
What?
in terms of money.
Oh.
Yeah, no, it was without a doubt his biggest win in terms. That's what I'm saying. The green jacket supersedes the 2.7. He's been doing well financially here to start the year. I'll see if I can go back and locate here. Yeah, the Masters. All right, it was financially his best win to date. The Masters was 2.7. The WGC match play was 2.2. The Arnold Palmer Invitational was 2.2, and the Phoenix Open was 1.5. So the Masters was his largest financial gain here in his 4 wins. But Scheffler, a solid 10 under. Roy McIlroy shoots 64 yesterday to finish second place, but it was pretty anticlimactic, Patrick. Not really the Masters I was hoping for. And given that you don't watch a ton of golf, but said you'd get into the weekend, I imagine that it wasn't really the kind of golf that you wanted to watch either. You at least want to see some action and some controversy.
Yeah. I mean, I turned the TV on at 2 on Sunday. Was planning on watching all day, and it was interesting once Scheffler and Smith teed off, and Cam Smith birdied the first 2 holes and gained back 2 spots, and all of a sudden this looked like distant lead was now a 1-shot lead, and then Cam Smith or Scotty Scheffler the chip on 3 that was ridiculous kind of set him straight, and it looked like he was going to keep rolling. But I got into it for a little bit when Rory went absolutely berserk on the back 9, whatever he shot on the back 9. I think it was 7 under on the day. Is that right? I mean, it was a ridiculous round for him. He was just chipping things in left and right. So I got a little excited to see him potentially come from behind. And when he went to the clubhouse and was being interviewed by Amanda Balionis, and she was like, "Do you think you did enough?" And he was like, "No, I definitely didn't do enough. Scotty's playing too well." So I'm going to come up a little short, unfortunately. So yeah, I pretty much checked out while he cruised through the last 5 holes. I put the TV on the bottom TV without the volume, and then just started watching other things on the top TV with volume, but kept tuning back in. And then I put the volume on I like watching him walk to 18. I like watching the winner walk to 18 and do that. So I watched the last hole, but yeah, it was a pretty boring Masters overall.
Yeah, it was. It's always fun to see the scenery and everything going on. Obviously, the storyline was Tiger Woods, but he shoots the 78 on Saturday. Saturday obviously was a very difficult day all the way around. We were out at Austin's soccer game, so there was not a whole lot of watching of the Masters that took place when he had games at 1 and 3:30. So we wasn't able to really sink my teeth into what was a very, very difficult day at the Masters on Saturday and really kind of eliminated a lot of guys, a lot of players really kind of with awful performances. You had guys that were kind of in contention. Hideki Matsuyama plays fairly well for the majority of the tournament, but was 5 over on Saturday. That really kind of eliminated him. Harold Varner the third had played really well throughout the week, but shoots an 80 on Saturday. That kind of removes him from competition. John Rahm was he was 2 over going into Saturday, but he shot a 77 on the Saturday afternoon that again kind of removed him from competition. So you get the point. Saturday was kind of the break day there for a lot of people, and unfortunately, really in terms of watching great golf and being able to sit down on Sunday and hope for some magic.
Yeah,
Scotty Scheffler just mowing
Took it
through
all
the field.
away.
He shoots a 71 on Saturday, which was right there. Cameron Smith shot 68 to put himself in contention, but yeah, it led to yesterday being not as much fun as you would have liked.
All you got to know is that the runner-up was over par heading into Sunday. Like heading into the last round, Scotty Scheffler had a 5-stroke lead, and the eventual runner-up was over par. Like, it was
But how he finished out the round, is that not how the rest of us would have probably
the
done
double
that?
bogey.
Yeah.
Just
Four
four putting.
putting, yeah.
I mean,
But
oh
that's
my
that.
gosh.
The fact that you can 4-putt on 18 on Sunday, like
100%.
that
Yeah.
just shows how dominant he was and how not competitive it was. So if you say it was a great Masters, there's no such thing as a bad Masters to you as a golf fan. Like that's fine, which is fine. You can say I love the Masters no matter what, even if it's not competitive. But that's like having a 35-3 Super Bowl.
Yeah, there's things about it. From the standpoint of just seeing Tiger Woods back again, he shoots 78 on the weekend there to finish plus 13. But seeing him back was neat. But again, after his
So it's like this is like the Peyton Manning in Denver Super Bowl where the Seahawks just slaughtered them and won by like 40. Because it was great to see Peyton Manning back on the big stage.
No,
and it was in New York City and it was all the big lights. And
those games, this at least had, because you still have things that I think with the Masters that you watch for, that you kind of anticipate. But again, the Tiger storyline to me was pretty much done fairly early on Saturday. I didn't think he was really, even after Friday's round where he was 2 over, I didn't really think Tiger was going to have enough. Tiger shot 74, so I guess he was 1 over going into the weekend. I didn't think he was going to have enough in the tank to be able to win it.
yeah.
So I don't want to say that for me he was a storyline going into the weekend. I was kind of interested to see how he would do, but it was neat to see him back. Again, it was what it was. He kind of removed himself from contention there fairly early on Saturday afternoon. But there are things with the Masters that's always entertaining. But if you want to weigh in on that this morning, 803-404-6100 is how you can be a part of the program. You can hop on the Buford Lending live stream that we have up and rolling. DC, Jerry, Anthony, Beverly, all in. Beverly saying, good morning, guys. Was not an exciting Masters, but finally a beautiful day at Augusta National. And yes, that was the upside to yesterday. I was able
Supposed to get 4 of those though.
sit out. I sat outside yesterday. Actually enjoyed the weather, a lot different. So the Masters this past weekend, if you want to weigh in on that, you can certainly do that this morning. South Carolina baseball. Well, Patrick, it went about kind of like we thought. They blow a Friday night lead in the 9th inning. They give up 2 runs and they lose 3-2. Saturday, they score a bunch of runs and hold on 13-7. And yesterday, they give up 13 runs and they lose 13-9. They'll get North Florida Tuesday night, the midweek game before Mississippi comes into town for a Thursday, Friday, Saturday series this coming weekend. South Carolina baseball, though, overall now 15-16, 4-8 in conference. And you kind of now head to the back half of the season. This will be the midway point. This coming weekend will be the midway point of the SEC series, of the SEC season. But nothing really changing from where we were at really Friday morning going in.
If you had to bet, will this team break 500 this year?
Overall.
Yeah.
Overall.
They're a game below 500. They've got a midweek game against North Florida. Then they've got Ole Miss, who's been consistently in the top 25. They lose that series. They got Winthrop and then Auburn, Alabama, Texas A&M. Can they climb back? You think they'll break 500? Or will they be 500 or worse for the rest of the season?
So 6 going into this weekend, 6 series left.
Yeah.
Mississippi's a top 10 team. Auburn is on the road. Well, they're 1-7 on the road.
Yeah, they're horrendous.
1-7 on the road. This is where I'm
Absolutely
going with this. Auburn on the road, A&M on the road, and Florida on the road. 9 road games plus a showdown with a top 10 team. That's 12 games that
they're not going to have a winning record again for the rest of the year.
12 games that I don't like them to have a winning. I don't see them splitting those 6.
6-12 on April 11th. I'm saying they're not going to have an above a 500 record at any point for the rest of the year. We can timestamp that. They can prove me wrong. Make the postseason, win every series for the rest of the year. I don't think they're very good.
I was trying to look and see where they would maybe slip above 500 for the season.
This would be the type of weekend where they would steal a series against Ole Miss. Ole Miss lines up as exactly, although they have to lose to North Florida tomorrow if they're going to beat Ole Miss this weekend.
Mississippi is now 19-12 on the season, 4-8. Their conference record is right there. So South Carolina does get them. Auburn and Alabama will be the series that follow. Auburn at 22-10, Alabama at 21-12. Both of those teams 7-5 in conference. Texas A&M, another road series at some point, I say at some point, but in the month of May, 6-6, 19-12 overall. I would say this: you're through the kind of murderer's row portion of the schedule. You've gotten Tennessee out of the way. You've gotten Georgia out of the way. Clemson obviously gets swept by Notre Dame this weekend, but Clemson has been playing pretty good. Vanderbilt is out of the way. You've played really the majority of the best teams. You miss Arkansas. You miss LSU. Patrick, you look at it. Mississippi State is really struggling this year. 18-15, 4-8 in conference as well. You look at it. You don't have series the remainder of the year that you can't win. You got Kentucky, who's 19-13 overall, 4-8. Auburn, Alabama, I just mentioned them. Texas A&M, and Mississippi. All those are not. Mississippi should be better. They were number 1 just a couple weeks ago before Tennessee pounded them down in Oxford. But the bottom line is, you look at the 6 teams remaining. The 6 teams remaining on the schedule, 3 of which are below 500 in SEC play. 1 of which is 500 in A&M, and the other 2 is 1 game, Alabama and Auburn, 1 game above 500. Who knows?
You already lost to the worst team in the conference.
Yeah, you did lose on the road to Missouri, and so we'll see.
South Carolina is now the worst team in the conference.
Well, by record, no, they're not.
Well,
by record, no, they're 4.
What
They're
I'm
4-8.
saying.
They're 4-8 in conference now. Overall, you're there.
Yeah.
They're the only team in conference with the losing record.
Correct.
Overall.
They're the worst team in the conference.
803-404-6100 if you want to weigh in on that. So you've got plenty that we can get into this morning. The news was shocking on Saturday regarding Dwayne Haskins. That is the only way I can describe it. It's tragic. It's shocking, Patrick. This is a guy that had spent some time with.
Grew up in DC.
Had spent some time with. What was it, the Redskins when he was with them, or was it the football team, whatever it was? But he had spent some time with your Washington football team. Obviously was owned to the Pittsburgh Steelers and was going to contend for a starting position this year. The news Saturday morning that he was tragically killed, hit by a vehicle trying to cross an interstate down in Miami. It's hard for me to wrap my head around. I'm sure more details will continue to come out. But this is really, really tragic news over the weekend.
Yeah, just shocking. He was out there with all the Steelers receivers and tight ends, and a thing set up by Mitch Trubisky, and just a throwing session over the weekend. And I don't know what led to that, but he was 24, almost 25 years old. It was just absolutely stunning. There was a lot of discourse after the fact about his career and all that stuff, but just overall, just really, really sad. I don't know if you saw the video going around of him in the Ohio State locker room when he was a little kid. There was one particular video that kept going viral of him at like an Ohio State camp with his dad when he was 10 or 11 years old. He's got his Ohio State jersey that says Haskins on. He's walking around the locker room, and his dad says, "What do you think?" He's like, "Oh, this is so awesome. I'm going to go to college here." And that was just like, I watched that video like 20 times this week, and it was very, very sad. And you could see, like, he was a nice kid. Like, for whatever happened on the field in Washington, everyone genuinely liked him. Like, he was really supposed to be a really nice kid, and you could see the just devastation from all his former Ohio State teammates. Terry McLaurin, who's still with Washington, obviously put out a long notes app message. Paris Campbell for the Colts right now looks like he was really close with Dwayne, and all the Ohio State coaches and everyone from that organization, Steelers players, Washington players, everyone was really, really broken up about it. It's just, there's not much you can say when a 24-year-old just unexpectedly dies in the middle of the night. Like it's shocking and really, really, really sad.
It excuse me, I took a minute to really be able to process what had happened. It's strange because again, it's his time with the Washington football team. So he was something that we would discuss occasionally just in terms of quarterbacks, and then moving on to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Again, it was just shocking news on Saturday morning to hear that. So some unfortunate news from the NFL this past weekend. Again, any of that you want to get into, 803-404-6100. Also on Friday after our show, it became official. South Carolina announced the hiring of two assistant coaches to the basketball program. Tanner Bronson, who we had expected, Patrick, we kind of knew that one was coming. Eddie Shannon, the other assistant coach that will be coming over from Chattanooga. We will await the third on court assistant coach that will be hired by Lamont Paris there coming up here in the next few weeks. But Patrick, I don't know, assistant coaches, good hires, bad hires, how many can you really name out there? I guess some guy pops up on the radar, and then at that point you look at his credentials and you say, oh, that's a really good hire or whatever. I don't know really how to assess that. I think it's going to be with a lot of Lamont Paris what we actually see on the court when we get to November and December.
Yeah, I don't know anything about any of the assistant coaches. The only way I'm gonna know you're gonna really know anything about them is if they've been in the game forever or have a direct link to a school. Like we obviously know like a Nolan Smith or you do a John Shire, all these legendary players that are now coaches, but just guys like I guess Eddie Shannon played in the NBA. I don't remember him. I just saw that when I Googled him. I think he played in the NBA.
Yeah, I if he did, it was very limited. I know more of his stuff was overseas.
Okay.
Is what he played.
Just as former professional basketball player.
Yeah, I don't know. He might have 10 seasons overseas, Australia, Croatia, Cyprus, France, Greece, Italy, just to name a few. I don't think he actually made it into the NBA. He might have spent a little bit of time there, but if so, most of his career is coming from playing overseas. And then Tanner Bronson was a guy that was up for the Chattanooga job but got passed over on that.
Became the interim right after.
Well, yeah, when the season was over.
He finished it off. But there's nothing really to be. You're not going to have like a take. If you have a take on this, then you're acting like you know a little bit too much. We'll see how it goes.
803-404-6100. Again, how you can be a part of the program this morning. Plenty of topics. Again, whether it's Lamont Paris adding to his staff, whether it's what happened down at Augusta National this past weekend. Certainly South Carolina baseball is something that a lot of people may want to weigh in. We can get to all that this morning. Cover a few other things. The NFL draft is creeping closer for Patrick. Did you get into
the 150? My top 150 is done. Position rankings done. Mock draft done.
Excellent. Okay, so we will.
If anyone wants to know during the breaks, who do I have your team taking? I got the first round fully mocked right now.
Okay, we will get to Patrick's top 10 picks here at some point this morning and start.
Thankfully, the Masters was boring, and I was just doing that instead of
Patrick had plenty of time
watching the Masters.
Plenty of times. Again, we'll get to all that this morning. Plenty to get into as we roll along. A lot to discuss, a lot to get you through. I think it's spring break for most kids out there. So some of you not having to wake up and send your kids to school. You get to wake up and just get yourself off this morning. Get yourself off to your work or whatever you want to do. A couple of you weighing in on the text line. Charles just saying he is glad he didn't have to watch a green jacket being put on a guy with a terrible mustache and a mullet. Yes, that was Cameron Smith. Certainly the looks there drawing a lot of attention.
It's cool though
over the weekend for him. So there was
Scotty Scheffler can't put on a jacket.
He can't.
I mean, he struggled getting one on.
Yes,
and the joke was on Saturday. He took off and on his vest in between every hole, like in between every shot. It was ridiculous, and he was struggling to get on. There's so many pictures of him like over his head trying to tuck his arms into his vest. He couldn't figure it out, and that was the running joke on Saturday on Twitter was, how's he going to be able to put on a jacket if he can't even put on this vest? And then lo and behold, he screws up putting on the jacket.
I just once want to watch them. You remember how you would some kids you would teach them how to you put their coat kind of like upside down on the floor, and then they would reach in and flip it over their head to, put the coat on. I just want to see them do that with a Masters jacket just once. I think that'd be hysterical.
Lay it out on the green and tell the
Yeah.
Tell the guy to just
Put your arms in and then flip it over your head and put it right on.
I'm
Yep.
sure that would be well received.
Did you see him doing the vest deal on Saturday the whole time?
Mm-mm.
I didn't. No, I missed
it
a
was
lot
late.
of Saturday.
It was late.
I missed a lot.
But I guess it got cold. But that's what he was doing in between every shot. It was just a little vest, and I don't know why he wasn't just taking the shots with the vest on. The vest was doing absolutely nothing for him. It was ridiculous.
803-404-6100. We'll get out to the phone lines when we return. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
The Extra Point,
With Pearson, Preston, and Gamecock Central.
9 a.m. to noon.
On your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
It looks like we are officially done with spring. Finally, that Saturday was cold. That was not really convenient, not a whole lot of fun. But now it looks like, if you look at the weather, we are officially ready for the spring. And that means summer is not far away. So my question to you is your heating and air unit ready to handle the summer months coming up? If not, it's time to call AAA Heating and Air. 803-677-1500 is how you can get in touch with them. Get a spring maintenance, get their pre-spring maintenance package right now. $49 is all it'll cost you for them to come out. AAA Heating and Air to come out and make sure your heating and air unit is working properly. That's exactly what you need to have done right now with AAA Heating and Air. And if you need a new heating and air unit, the good news is the folks at AAA Heating and Air will make sure you are taken care of, because right now they're offering you a $1,500 rebate to buy back your old unit, then work with you. No money down, 0% financing for those that qualify on a brand new unit. And the absolute best part, a 15-year parts and labor warranty to make sure that heating and air unit continues to work. So whether you just need some routine maintenance, right now, $49 is all it'll cost with AAA Heating and Air, or whether you need a brand new unit, AAA Heating and Air has got you taken care of. 803-677-1500. Again, that's 803-677-1500. Don't wait any longer. Call AAA Heating and Air today. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you.
107.5 The Game traffic from the Shepherd's Glass Traffic Center.
Shepherd's Glass, a true reflection of quality. shepherdsglass.com.
And we have a great start to your Monday morning. No accidents to report. No major slowdowns at this time. And that, my friends, is a good thing. Forecast also looking pretty good. Sun and clouds today. 82 for the high, 84 tomorrow, 83 on Wednesday. Mother-in-law's coming to town this weekend. She's going to love it. She's going to want to stay. Ugh, but we'll take the good weather anyway. It's 45 right now. 107.5 The Game.
I'm going to try the share screen feature. Let's see how this works. I don't want to share audio. I just want to.
I think it's super cute when the little ones, like preschoolers, put their coats on like that. That'd be awesome in Butler's cabin.
Oh, there we go.
Oh,
Yeah, he was battling with that vest all Saturday.
maybe he's got a bad shoulder.
All right, the screen share is a cool feature. I like this.
That really is.
Yep, WNBA draft tonight. Ace has made a trade to get it to acquire second first round pick.
Oh,
Will Destiny Henderson be there at 8 or 13?
yeah. Oh, you're going to show us how to take a sweatshirt on and off?
One arm at a time.
Yes. Eric, we were talking about that. Unfortunate.
Yep.
Slept a lot this weekend and feel like I didn't sleep enough. Ooh, the Guardians beat the Royals 17-3. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I figured a lot of people. Robin, I wonder. I didn't look. Is Robin on spring break and is up unnecessarily early? I forget what school district Robin said she teaches in, or if she's ever told us actually. Are we back or is this a tease?
30 seconds.
There's nothing else to talk about other than your
Only does that when you walk in.
keyword. Much of a presence,
I think so. Your
power.
aura, whatever you brought back from the mountains. That good of a trip?
Once you got there to the cabin, it was nice, beautiful, but it's going up those like.
Oh, yeah.
I don't do all of that, and he was being all calm and cool, but if he's stressed, that's where. No, not the thing.
What was the guy who called in? Stud Puppy? Did y'all see his?
Oh, yeah, he was talking. I probably said it on the live stream just because it had to do with that 595.
Oh, Miami. Well, you can go in and put create your own caller ID. 6:30 on a Monday morning, April the 11th. Bill Gunner, Patrick Perrette, Jen Jensen. Postmasters weekend. That's what we started off talking about this morning. Scotty Scheffler, a 10 under 278 for the tournament is what he has posted and has taken home a green jacket, according to Patrick. Patrick also showing us in the break on the live stream how to properly take off a sweatshirt.
One arm at a time. It's not that hard.
Yeah, not necessarily a jacket, but we don't have. I guess I have a jacket on right now, but we.
I mean, you kind of have to blame Matsuyama on that botch too.
Okay, yeah,
he put it on him. No, it's just an awkward ceremony. By the way, there's the four of them sitting inside, doing awkward small talk. Matsuyama had no idea what was going on until they all just stood up, and he was like, "Okay, now it's my turn."
I'm not gonna. I didn't watch the green jacket ceremony yesterday, so I didn't catch any.
I don't
of that,
like
but
it. Just give him his jacket. Let him put it on himself.
It is always a little odd, It's because it's very subdued, and very calm and whatever. But you have the chairman of the golf course that I don't know that he's just a natural to be on camera, and yeah, it is kind of an awkward
Why do they
thing.
do it inside now? Didn't it used to be outside? There's that video of Tiger getting his jacket on. Looks like outside
They
on
do it
the
outside
course.
too, don't they?
I think they do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, outside, and I think I've never.
I think the new thing is that they do it in the whatever they call that room.
Butler cabin.
Yeah,
they do it in there for the television purposes because of the I would say exclusive or the 101 interview or whatever you want to say, like the official announcement. But I believe weather permitting or time or daylight or whatever, that they still try to do it outside for all the patrons that are there. I think
they do. They were mentioning that before the end of the broadcast. They were showing all of the people kind of getting in place to get ready for the outdoor ceremony.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So that's two ceremonies. So
Mhm.
the official and then the redo. So the question is, did they mess up the first time? Because I think the first one is outside. Then they all move inside for the official interview and the sit down. And Jim Nance is very nice.
They did two ceremonies, and the second one was inside. They did that very quickly.
Okay. Yeah. I'd never really thought of that in
I
terms
thought
of
it was reversed.
I'm trying to think. I'm
CBS
just
has to go off the air. They don't show the other one on the air.
Now I'm trying to think of how often I've ever watched the actual green jacket ceremony. I know I watched it in 19 when Tiger won because that was just an emotional. There was a lot of stuff.
I know I watched the
involved with
COVID ones because there's nothing else on, and that's the way they did it.
Yeah, a couple anonymous six, so they do both. CBS cuts off 4 outside, so apparently they do the first one inside
Ugh.
and then come back. So
I
appreciate
hate
that.
that.
I've never thought, honestly, until you just brought that up, I've never thought to even wonder how that exactly works. So
I hate the double moment for TV deal. It just kills the second moment.
I've been to Augusta on a Sunday, but we didn't stay for we caught the leaders teeing off and then got out of there so we could get home where we could actually watch the tournament instead of trying to follow what was going on. But I've interesting there, even for me to learn a little something there. 803-404-6100. The other thing we've talked a little bit about this morning, South Carolina baseball drops 2 of 3 to the Georgia Bulldogs yesterday, losing 13-9. They did win the Saturday game 13-7, but dropped the Friday night game 3-2 when they gave up back-to-back runs in the 9th inning there to lose a 2-1 lead. Let's get out to the Love Chevy phone lines. Gamecock Larry wants to weigh in on that baseball team. Gamecock Larry, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing okay, but you done talk so much about golf. We done got me all piled up. But that old root hog, he called. I didn't answer the phone. I guess his beautiful bride finally got him where he'll call me on a decent time. But that's okay. It had to be dark when he proposed to her because she is beautiful. I know. Well, I ain't going to say that. But let me tell you something about this baseball. We ain't going to win another series this year in baseball as long as we got a coach that will pull a pitcher out with a lead in the top of the 8th inning, and this makes 5 games that we've lost in the last 3 weeks when they pull the pitcher out in the top of the 8th inning, call it a so-called pitch count. And this is not Gamecock baseball. This is, I don't know, I ain't going to say fire Mark Kingston, but I will say this. If he needs any help, I'll help him pack his bag. But why didn't he pull the pitcher out yesterday when they got 4 hits, 5 runs in the first inning? Why didn't he pull him out then? I'm going to tell you, this is not Gamecock baseball, and us old Gamecock fans used to go to Sawyer Fry Field and all that. We don't need this kind of baseball in South Carolina. I'll tell you what I would do if I was Ray Tanner, and it might make you mad, and I don't care. But let me tell you, I would tell Kingston, well, yeah, I don't want nobody to lose a job, but I would let him go. And then I'd say, Scott Wingo, here's the interim tag, buddy. You take it. You play old Gamecock baseball. And the end of the season, if you're doing good, we'll talk about a contract. That's all I got to say.
Okay.
Oh, that it hurts me to say. I don't know.
I don't like people criticizing my baseball
don't
coach,
know.
Gamecock Larry.
Huh?
I don't like people criticizing my baseball coach.
Well, look, I'm gonna criticize him because he ain't the man for the Gamecock team. We played baseball. We played Carolina baseball. If they'd have kept, I don't forgot his first name, Skip Tanner, whoever he was, we'd have been playing ball like Tanner used to play if we'd have kept him. But no, all these young whippersnappers hollered, fire the coach, fire him, fire him. Well, Tanner took some of the old men on the board of trustees and they fired him. Same way they done Frank Martin. But I tell you what, I've been around a long time and I ain't seen, look at the difference. Score 5 runs in the first inning to lead the pitcher in. Go in the 8th inning leading take the pitcher out and lose the game. They said 5 games in 3 weekends we lost in the 8th and 9th inning. That's all we got to say. Go Gamecock.
Well, that you got A.
He
Good
is
job.
mad.
Got him riled up. B was a very conflicted phone call where it started with, "I'm not going to call for anybody's job," by he offered to help him pack, and he should never coach again, and Scott Wingo should be the interim. I'm not sure there. I guess technically he never said he should be fired. He just offered to help pack. Maybe for a road series coming up in the next few weeks. Maybe that's what he was going to help him pack with. Maybe a lot there.
Yeah, wow. A lot to
Unfortunately,
unpack.
I think Gamecock Larry, there's a lot of South Carolina fans right now who feel the same.
Tiger Larry.
I will ask both of you this, and dead serious, because he brings up something that I saw a lot of people on Twitter very unhappy with. Noah Hall had thrown 108 pitches on Friday night. Austin, my son, doesn't play baseball, but I talked to a lot of people about pitching and arms and stuff, and I've talked to Kip Balknight about this in the past. We've talked to Brian Jeffcoat about this and the number of pitches thrown. Patrick, you saw Max Scherzer throw a lot of pitches at times for the Nationals. Like, I'll ask both of you, do you have a pitch count? Like 108 is a lot of pitches.
It is.
And he was through 7. He had to go 2 more innings. I can understand why you get upset when you pull him out, but 108 pitches too. Like, what is the number you go to?
Well, it's also, I mean,
Because how long to regroup from that? When can he pitch again?
he can throw more pitches than a Max Scherzer could at age 20 or 21, but that doesn't mean it's good for him in the long term. I just don't know all the data and science enough. Like Max Scherzer had a dead arm and couldn't pitch in the playoffs last year.
Right.
Like that's a problem.
Yeah.
So there have been plenty of circumstances of guys just overusing pitchers in college, and then it affects them for the rest of their life and their pro career. They can't throw the ball. So if it's, I don't know, from a win-loss perspective, I get it, but it's also for the health of the kids. It's not just like hey, why are you taking him out? You're taking him out not because he's not performing. It's because for his own safety or health.
Yeah, because I
It's-
assume they don't have actual pitch counts in college. Like when you're coming up as a younger kid
Right.
and stuff, like there's pitch counts. But yeah, I think it's more of it protecting.
I don't
kid.
know the data
Yeah, man.
enough, but
Mhm.
it's hard to criticize as much when it's a health concern,
Mhm.
I remember
a long-term health concern.
a long time ago. I say a long time ago, maybe 15 years ago, and there's some Gamecock fans will remember this. I think it was against Mississippi State. Ray Tanner and the former pitching coach whose name is all of a sudden Jerry Myers. Or I can't remember if it's Meyer or Myers, but Jerry Myers. But the bottom line is, I think they let Adam Westmoreland throw in the neighborhood of 160 pitches in a game.
Oh my gosh.
I think that was, somebody correct me if I'm wrong. It was a lot.
That's criminal.
One game they were playing Mississippi State. I want to say on a Saturday, and this again it was Adam
Mhm.
Westmoreland. I believe it was Westmoreland, big lefty. Somebody might remember this a little bit better because it's been 10, 12 years ago to my knowledge, and they were criticizing. I think they won the game 2-1 or 3-2. It was a low scoring game. I'd have to go back and look, but the bottom line is I'm with you. 108 pitches is a good bit for that young man. I do agree. I can understand where Gamecock Larry is coming from, and I think that is part of the discussion because South Carolina has lost games this year where they've pulled the starting pitcher, but I think by and large, the majority of times, the pitch count has been over 100 pitches. I don't think they've pulled him with 80 pitches thrown. Does that make sense? And
Mhm.
that's where I would
Yeah.
understand being far more upset if he had still only thrown about 80 pitches.
I'm trying to find because I remember
Eric
My-
Hempy. Thank you, Charles. Not Adam Westmoreland. Eric Hempy threw 152 pitches. Yes, similar body types, I think. But yes, I appreciate that, Charles, for weighing in. It was Eric Hempy who threw 152 pitches. So
that's absurd.
yeah.
Does
and
anyone know the LSU pitcher that I don't know? Because I remember growing up, my dad told me about some LSU pitcher that this was the exact. Oh, he literally just texted me. Ben McDonald. Did this happen to Ben McDonald? Does that ring any
the
bells?
LSU pitcher. I don't know if he threw that many pitches. I don't
He
know.
was an Oriole. That's why it was relevant to
Okay.
us growing up. But yeah, it happens. Like it does happen.
What you
Overusing guys and it screws them up for the rest of their lives. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know how to criticize him for that.
I
I don't know if it's fair or not.
Well, and here's the other part.
Like maybe 10 extra pitches wouldn't have hurt him. Maybe it would have been no big deal, but maybe it would have. So it's hard.
Well, but part of me is you've got to have guys who can go out and get the job done. You've got to have guys in the bullpen who can go and get the job done. In South Carolina, obviously, we remember the Friday night game against Clemson, in which Will Sanders put him in position and then came out and they lost that game by giving up runs late. Obviously, Friday night, the same thing happened. There's an element of it. I don't know. Craig weighs in. He says add in the warm up pitches before the game and during the game probably means around 150 actual pitches. So yeah, you come out. I think you get 10 warm up pitches to start the inning. That's what it used to be.
If you want to criticize him, how about criticize him for not having someone good to replace Noah Hall?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Like how the fact that you only have one good pitcher on any given game day, like you just can't trust anyone else to come in, and you're the University of South Carolina and you've won 2 national championships in the last 10, 12 years, and you want to be a perennial team that goes to Omaha, but you only have one pitcher that can get it done. I mean, you shouldn't have to rely on a pitcher to throw 120 pitches to win a baseball game.
I'm with you on that. Another anonymous texter weighs in and says Eric Hempy, and he wasn't the same after that. Yeah, Hempy was the guy that, again, 152 pitches. And I think both of the anonymous texter and Charles, maybe y'all can win. I think South Carolina did win that game. I think it was a Saturday game, and I want to say it was against Mississippi State, and I want to say they won 2-1, but that was a long time ago there.
I think the criticism might be misplaced here if you're criticizing him for pulling Noah Hall. I think the real criticism should be the fact that you can't afford to pull Noah Hall to win a game. That is the problem.
Bingo.
Yeah. 803-404-6100. We'll continue talking about that. Get back into some Masters discussion. We'll get into Patrick's big draft board. Talk a little bit about the top 10 picks, one of which will be the Carolina Panthers there and where Patrick sees the NFL mock draft going. A lot to discuss this morning. Again, if you want to weigh in, 803-404-6100. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
The Halftime Show with Jay, Terry, and Tommy
Noon to 3.
on your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
That time of year, you start thinking about the summer vacations, or this week, actually, it's spring vacation. Maybe you've got a big vacation lined up. Maybe you're traveling somewhere for Easter this coming weekend. You need a reliable vehicle, and you need a dealership that's not going to tack on extra add-ons to the sticker price, costing you more money. That's why you need to go visit Love Chevrolet, I-26 in Harbison between Lowe's and Frankie's Fun Park. Right now, there's still a time of high demand and low supply, but at Love Chevrolet, it's business as usual. The same way it's been for over 60 years for South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy dealer. They're not adding extra add-ons to the price to take advantage of customers. They continue to do business the right way. Go find out for yourself. I-26 in Harbison between Lowe's and Frankie's Fun Park. You can visit them on the web where you can actually talk to a seasoned professional over the web and order the vehicle that you've been looking for, the make, the model, the interior, the exterior, everything you've been wanting in a new car, truck, or SUV. You actually can do it right over the internet. Go on lovechevy.com and speak with a professional right there. Order the car or truck that you've been looking for. Love Chevrolet, been in business since 1960, treating customers the right way. You can go find out for yourself. Visit them on the web as well, lovechevy.com. Get out to Love Chevrolet and find new roads.
107.5 The Game traffic from the Shepherd's Glass Traffic Center.
Shepherd's Glass, a true reflection of quality. ShepherdsGlass.com.
One accident to report, I-20 westbound right there at Longs Pond Road. Again, I-20 westbound at Longs Pond Road. An accident might be slowing you down. Your forecast for today, looking pretty good actually for the next few days. 82 for the high today, 84 tomorrow, 83 on Wednesday. It's a cool start, though, 45 at 107.5 The Game.
Anthony, unfortunately, the 49ers do not have a first-round pick, so they were not in the first-round mock draft. They do have a lot of picks, though. I think their first pick, they do have a second-rounder. Pick 61, pick 93, two in the third round, and then 3 sixth-rounders. If I was a 49ers fan, I'd be hoping for maybe a safety or a pass rusher. I think all the good wide receivers and offensive linemen are going to be gone by 61. Just kind of the way. Let's see. Maybe you'll trade Debo. Then you'll get a couple first-round picks. We talked about that on Friday, how he deleted the 49ers from his social media. Never liked that move by the, what are they, Gen Zers? Anyway, though, anything in the secondary, maybe a pass rusher across from Bosa, maybe a guard. They're good at tackle. Can always use another pass catcher, even though I think they're in pretty good shape with Ayuk and Debo, and obviously Kittle.
Go ahead and mark your calendars for Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, April 13th, 6 p.m. The city of Columbia will be holding a celebration for the South Carolina women's basketball team. It will be a parade. I've got some parking information here in terms of the meters and where you can and cannot park, but it looks like this coming Wednesday, starting at 6 o'clock, there will be a parade that will be held starting at 6 p.m. to celebrate Dawn Staley and the South Carolina women's basketball team on their 2022 national championship victory. Just to kind of read what has been given to me here, it says the City of Columbia Parking Services ambassadors will be in contact with merchants of Main Street in the coming days to discuss plans for the parade and answer any questions merchants have regarding parking arrangements on Wednesday. But you can check that out. So the parade will begin at 6 o'clock this Wednesday. So you can get the kids out. Should be nice. Let me look real quick. I think today it's in the 80s. Is that right, Jen? I've not listened if you've done
83, 84, next few days.
Yeah. So it should be a great week there. And this coming Wednesday, 6 o'clock, you can mark your calendars and get down to Main Street here in Columbia for a parade to celebrate with Dawn Staley and her team. WNBA draft, Patrick, Destiny Henderson, expected to be, I believe, a top 10 pick. Is that pretty much what we're looking at now?
I don't know. I just looked at a mock draft that had her not in the first round, and now I'm pulling up a second one on ESPN, and It does not have her in the first. Has her going number 10 to the Indiana Fever.
Okay.
So she'll be a fringe first round pick. There's 12 picks in the first
Gotcha.
round.
Okay. All
12
right.
picks in the first round. So, yeah, I mean, it would be cool. I think what South Carolina fans would like, because the Las Vegas Aces just traded for the number 8 pick, and then they also have the first pick in the second round at 13. So maybe they can scoop her up, and Destiny Henderson and Asia Wilson can play together. I think that is what South Carolina fans would root for.
Okay. So that is tonight, correct?
That's tonight. Yeah.
WNBA draft is tonight.
It's also a cool video of Destiny Henderson. I'm assuming this draft is in New York. That would make sense because there was a video of her at like a playground court in New York yesterday, and a bunch of girls play basketball, and she was shaking hands with them, and they were all completely gushing and like crying and just so excited to have seen their hero. It was actually a really cool video. For if you haven't seen it, I think it's on her Twitter page.
Do we know what time? Do you know? I do not have WNBA draft information 7 o'clock
on
on
ESPN.
ESPN. So you'll be able to check that out, see if she gets drafted tonight. I believe that is the only one, because now with Victoria Saxton coming back, South Carolina, Dawn Staley, they're going to be preseason number 1 by a mile, I would assume.
It's wild because this past year they returned 100% of their scoring from the year before, and now they're going to return 90% of their team.
Yep.
They're only losing Destiny Henderson.
So
that is a big loss, though. She was the best player in the national championship game.
And so we'll kind of move forward from there. But yeah, tonight 7 o'clock ESPN. You can check that out and see where Destiny Henderson.
Ryan Howard from Kentucky, which South Carolina fans are used to, who could remember seeing. She was phenomenal for Kentucky even when they weren't very good. She's projected to be the number 1 pick.
Okay. 803-404-6100. You can be a part of the program if you want to weigh in on that or anything else this morning. Again, just to let you know, the parade for South Carolina's women's team will be this coming Wednesday at 6 p.m. on Main Street. So you can plan accordingly, get the family out, come down there, grab a little dinner, and celebrate with Dawn Staley and the girls for their second national championship. And as we just talked about, bringing that up, yeah, they lose Destiny Henderson, and that's a big piece. But they've certainly got the pieces to reload and continue moving forward. And maybe an annual thing here in April now, moving forward with a parade to celebrate a championship. Talking a little bit about baseball in the previous segment and pitch counts. A couple of you weighing in. Noah saying I would use Michael Roth as an example of pitchers having a high pitch count, and we got a ring out of it. But Patrick is right. Unlike that span of 13 years, these guys don't have the backups the coaches trust, and they haven't had depth since 2015, 2016. Anonymous texter weighs in. 8 kids on the pitching staff are injured or out for the year. That's what hurts the depth you're speaking of. A couple other people just kind of weighing in on the pitch count as well. I believe it was RL on our Buford Lending live stream says it looks like since 1996, youth leagues and little leagues have established a pitch count by age groups to minimize arm fatigue over the career of pitchers. And that's part of it, Patrick. 108 pitches for Noah Hall on Friday night. That's a good bit. The depth certainly hurts, but yeah, you've got to have some guys ready to go.
Yeah, it is complicated because I also don't know, like, or if these aren't MLB guys, what does it matter as much? And can you just not operate under the assumption of like these aren't big leaguers anyway, so it's not going to cost them money in the future?
Yeah.
The arm issue is just a complicated one, and I don't know if we'll ever have all of the data. I think it's always going to be something that's kind of debated in the baseball world.
We will continue that discussion, get back into the Masters a little bit, and next hour, Patrick Perrett's mock draft is ready to go. The top 10 picks, we'll get those. It's the early game.
Nice.
107.5 The Game.
I just watched that video. Destiny Henderson retweeted about her
Anaya
being
Russell
here.
is, I guess, the
So
bigger one,
awesome.
and Alyssa Wesselek are transferring. I didn't know Alyssa Wesselek had eligibility still. I thought she was done, but yeah, I mean, that's good for her. She's gonna be able to grad transfer and go somewhere where she can actually play. And Anaya Russell was actually a McDonald's All-American. She just didn't play that much. Wesselek or Russell? She's a guard. Yeah, I mean, maybe she would have gotten more playing time this year, but she'll get offers from everywhere, I'm sure. Yeah, she averaged 7 minutes a game, 7.7 minutes a game.
Notice Bill hasn't mentioned the NASCAR race one time because he came in dead last.
Who came in dead last?
Bill.
Ah,
Yep.
surprised he hasn't mentioned it.
Well, hello.
Oh, I
came in
did. So Saturday night was the Australian Grand Prix.
Was it good?
Started at 1 a.m. and I actually did stay up for it because I napped so much throughout the day that I was fairly awake at 1 a.m. Flipped on ESPN and watched about a 2-hour Australian Grand Prix.
I would have loved to, but I did stay up and watch the NASCAR Xfinity race, and that was late.
Where was it?
So, Martinsville.
Martinsville, yeah.
Yeah, paperclip. There's a fight and everything.
We did mention that, Trey. It's not much to say other than it's very, 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 very sad.
Our number 2 on a Monday morning, April the 11th, post Masters Monday. Now we get ready for the RBC Heritage, and a pretty good field down there this coming week. So the golf swing around the state of South Carolina, through the state of South Carolina, continues. Obviously, Augusta National last week. Now they go down to Hilton Head for what should be a lot of fun at Harbor Town. Always a party. Patrick, I would tell you, Augusta National is neat. You got to go once. It's kind of a bucket list type of sports item that even if you're not a huge golf fan, I think you got to go and just check it out so that when you do happen to flip it on television, you see the scenery and
I
everything.
mean, I would happily go, but I'm not paying $1,000 to go attend a golf tournament.
Yeah, you don't need to pay $1,000.
Whatever it
normally you
costs,
can get, I think, tickets. I can't remember the last time I paid for tickets, but I would say it was like $250 or something for a ticket. And obviously, if you go down the path of buying 4, you're going to hit 1,000. But I say that I think that Augusta National, everybody should go once. Now, if you like a party, if you're going for a celebration where golf is really secondary, you got to go to the Heritage. Like,
yeah, I've never been to any sort of golf tournament.
Like, Jen, I got the Indy 500. You go every year. Is the race the primary aspect of it? It's kind of a stupid question, or is it the party and a race breaks out?
No, it is a party, but people are really serious about being there. I mean, people have their headphones and their radios so they can be tuned in, to the different crew chiefs and hear what's going on in the cars. And I really think it is as important as the party is, but there's also massive parties for several days.
I get the impression that a lot of the big horse races are like that. Like the Kentucky Derby feels like a party
Mhm.
That
where you
where,
get
where
to
the
wear your
horses
big
are
hat
there.
and dress up, and then
Yeah.
and drink what do they drink? The
Mint
Juleps.
mint juleps. Yeah, those are
Mhm.
terrible. And then there's a horse race also.
Yeah, I mean, if you've been, I think most people would agree with me on this. Like, you go to the Masters, the golf is front and center. You're there for the golf.
Mhm.
You go to the RBC Heritage, you may see a golfer,
Yeah.
or you may spend most of the week like flat on your back because you enjoyed the quarter deck or the party a little bit too much. Like, there is
Mhm.
golf happening at the Heritage, but the party is happening first and foremost at Augusta National. It is all about the golf. And if you decide to get in the way of that, you will be escorted from the premises and told not to come back to Augusta.
Mm, mhm.
I would like to go see a golf tournament just because I've never seen a professional hit a golf ball in any regard. Like I hit the tops of balls and I don't actually know how to swing a golf club. So I'm impressed anytime I'm out there. Like even when we were doing the simulator thing and Bill's just like consistently hitting the ball, I'm like, wow, that's pretty impressive. That's impressive stuff right
Keep your
there.
head down,
He
Patrick.
makes
Keep your head
contact
down.
every single time. Wow, he's a good golfer.
Thank you.
And and other people might say, yeah, Bill's just an okay golfer. Like I don't know how good of a golfer Bill is, but he hits the ball without
No whiffing.
without whiffing
Appreciate that.
or topping it off. Like so I'm in my mind, Bill's a good golfer, but I don't know how different it would look for me to walk out there and watch even just like a middling professional golfer swing the club. I don't know if it is just night and day. Like, wow, that guy.
It's worth going
Yeah.
to see. It's
Like,
like
is
I
it
said,
like I'm trying to think like watching like an NFL quarterback throw the football is you can tell like, oh my gosh, that thing's humming. Is it like that with a pro? When you're just watching them on the range or practice round, are you like, okay, that is a different type of swing?
I'm always amazed.
I assume watching somebody like Bryson, you're
Yeah.
like, oh my goodness gracious, he's murdering that ball.
I haven't been to I'm trying to think. The last tournament I went to was the Heritage, and that might have been 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. It's been a while since I've been to a golf tournament. I have not, and the reason I say that is I haven't seen Bryson DeChambeau swing. Like you talk about like these things in life.
Well, you can see it. You can tell on TV. You're like, oh my goodness,
Yeah.
like,
Right.
the way he winds up and just like.
And
but
like Craig says in the live stream, hearing that noise, like that, just the whoosh and just that solid
Yeah.
contact. Wow.
It
But-
just sounds different.
Yep.
Well, we've talked about that, like, and maybe it's a topic we go down today. Maybe we continue to save it for the summer. But seeing people in person, and how did we get on it 2 weeks ago or something? We're talking about the tallest people,
Yeah.
like just the tallest people you've ever seen in person, not on television, because that is one thing people. I've talked to people about this, like where they go to an NBA basketball game or they go to an NBA game, and you're down close to
Yeah.
the court, and you
They're
see
just the largest humans.
the
in the world.
physical size of
Yeah.
some of these guys. Because seeing them on television, you're like, oh, okay, I can tell that guy's big. But
You
then
don't know
you
how
see
big.
like a Dwight Howard in
If you have a
person.
friend who's 6'3", like he's your tallest friend, and that is the shortest guy on the NBA court. like-
But then you see the
You
physical,
you never come across 7-footers in real life.
generally
It's
no.
very rare. Yeah.
Yeah, it's-
Scotty Scheffler seems like a big dude.
I think he's 6'3", 210, 6'3",
Scheffler.
205, I believe is what I saw him
Yeah,
listed at.
That's
So, but to your
6'3", 200. That's a
to-
big dude.
to your point, Bryson DeChambeau is a guy that I guess I would like to see swing the golf club in person to just
Rory would not impress you.
completely understand everything there. No, Roy's
5'9", 160.
I've seen him in person. So 803-404-6100. Talked a lot about the Masters. Obviously, also talked a lot about South Carolina baseball this morning. They dropped 2 of 3 to Georgia over the weekend. The Friday night game was one that Gamecock Larry brought up. And we've discussed a little bit because South Carolina had the lead in that game 2-1 going into the 9th inning, but they had taken Noah Hall out and brought in Cade Austin. And Patrick, the other thing, Cade Austin's been a solid pitcher for them this year. Aiden Hunter and Cade Austin, I think, have stepped up for the Gamecocks a little bit, but they give up 2 runs in the 9th inning and they drop the game, a 3-2 loss there. South Carolina also only had 5 hits on the night. Georgia had 10. But the bottom line is South Carolina lost that game, and we talked a little bit about the pitching. Noah Hall had thrown 108 pitches in that game through 7 innings. Yeah, maybe you send him back out for the 8th and he throws, 10, 12 more, and he makes it a quick inning. But he wasn't going
He's
to
not
have
finishing the game.
He
for
wasn't
you.
finishing the game. and you were going to have somebody step up. 803-404-6100. Jen, let's get out to the Love Chevy phone lines. Mike wants to talk a little South Carolina baseball. Mike, how you doing this morning? What's on your mind?
Well, I'm okay, y'all. So I don't have a problem with the decision Friday to bring in Austin. They had to hit the ball better, y'all, on Friday to score more runs. My big problem was yesterday, y'all. I mean, if Becker indeed could have pitched yesterday, I would have started him and taken him as far as he could have. Then going with Austin, then going with some other guys. Now, I wouldn't have gone with Esposito or Gilreath because I'm still kind of scratching my head on as to why those two guys got in. They haven't pitched well this year, y'all. I mean, there are other guys out there. Parker Coyne, Brett Thomas, we saw him. There are other guys out there that are better options that, Jalen Vasquez, let's think about him. There's so many other guys. Gilreath and Esposito have a track record this year of just not pitching well and just, getting hit around. And I just don't understand the logic as to why you leave guys like maybe Becker, like I said, if he had any availability, like Kingston said, why he didn't get used yesterday, at least to the extent that he could. So, y'all, when we're going to use that excuse that we don't have pitching, at least let's use other options instead of using the same few options like Gilreath and Esposito, because they have just proven that they are ineffective for the most part this year.
Yeah, I mean, Mike, some of that though is the depth. Like South Carolina is.
Well, he
limited.
mentioned like Vasquez and some of the younger. Is he just deferring to experience? Like I don't know what he's like because they haven't been pitching well. But John Giller's a 5th-year senior. Like he's been with the program for a long time, and is that what Mark Kingston's doing? Just deferring to the most experienced guy and saying this is who I trust in this moment, even though he's continuing to be let down. Those are fair criticisms.
Okay, yeah, I'm looking at Aiden Hunter as a freshman. He's pitched a good bit this year. You go look at Noah Hall, who's a junior, has pitched a good bit. I understand where he's going with that.
It is hard to follow the logic of who's going in at any given time sometimes.
Yeah, it's you've got Justin Parker's the new pitching coach, and maybe there is something there, as you kind of just brought up, Patrick, that you look and you wonder. I guess I defer to the coaches because they see him in practice. They've seen him in the fall scrimmages and everything, and you kind of understand what's going on. Certainly, as you just said, it's a fair criticism, and it's a good question there by Mike. Let's stay on the Love Chevy phone lines. Get out. Forrest wants to weigh in on USC baseball. Forrest, how you doing this morning? What's on your mind?
I'm good. Hey, I got a take that you're probably not going to like, and I kind of expect for you to backfire on this because it's going to sound maybe a little ludicrous. But at what point do we accept that this job is kind of like Florida football, where two guys have really only won here, and no one else has really ever gotten it done? Tanner won, and then in the 70s they won. But besides that, it's not like we got some huge history, We got those two guys, and besides that, everyone else. And I mean, the point is, look at Holbrook and look at Kingston. They both failed.
Mm-hmm. What about June Raines? I wouldn't say he failed.
No. I was saying Tanner and June Raines.
Okay. What about Bobby Richardson?
Okay. All right. So that's 3.
Okay. That's all the coaches that South Carolina's had for like the last 60 years.
Okay. All right. So you're still Florida. It's Florida football.
Okay. So out of the last 60 years, 50 have been really good, at times incredible, and then I'm with you on the last 10.
But is it still that good of a job?
Yeah, it's one of the 5 best in the country.
I don't know, dude.
Why?
Five is high though.
No, it's when South Carolina baseball. You're in the Southeast. You're in. I was going to say the state of South Carolina. The state of South Carolina is really good as a whole, but if you throw in the Southeast, you're in the most fertile recruiting ground in the country when it comes to baseball. That's no questions asked.
Is it better than Mississippi State?
Yes. It's up there. Mississippi State just redid their park.
Mississippi State's
top 5 facilities. Mississippi State's facilities now are every bit. I can.
Arkansas's are incredible. LSU's a great job. Florida's a great job, and then out in California, there's a million great jobs too.
I don't know.
Saying it's undoubtedly
million.
Saying it's undoubtedly top 5 is strong, but it's still an elite.
Forrest asks a good question as it is, but I will say that South Carolina still has great facilities, but what you just brought up about Mississippi State, if you go and look at what they redid with their ballpark, that ballpark out there is absolutely incredible, and obviously they just won a national championship last year. Thank you for the phone call, Forrest. You asked a legit question there in terms of facilities. No, it's an elite job.
I don't get the Florida coaching comparison either, though. I mean, everyone has been successful at Florida. Even Will Muschamp was successful at Florida.
He did have
every coach except for Ron Zook in the history of Florida football since Steve Spurrier has won at least 10 games.
Yeah. You know, and I just the only thing I would push back on what Forrest said is like when he says like some coaches haven't done well. Well, 2, but you've had 5 coaches since. Where's Tommy Moody when we need him? I know Tommy's listening. When did Bobby Richardson start coaching at South Carolina? Was it? I don't have the Bobby Richardson coaching history because that's what you got. Is you got Bobby Richardson, then you go to June Raines, and then you go to Ray Tanner, and then you've had Holbrook, and you had 5 coaches, and I'm trying to think of.
So yeah, Bobby Richardson ended in 76. June Raines ended in 96.
But when did Bobby Richardson start? Is what I'm looking for.
1970.
He led them to the College World Series in 1975.
1970. So yeah, so Richardson started in 1970. So 50. What are we? 52 years, and you've had 5 coaches. So again, that's kind of my point. Is like,
but you've had
South Carolina just hired their 33rd basketball coach.
But they are about to potentially have their 3rd in 10 years.
Baseball coach?
Yeah.
Oh no, that's very legitimate as the
and
last 10 years.
How long does it take for you to forget about the Ray Tanner era and say, okay, well now South Carolina is still a good job, but it's not a top 5 job anymore?
They still have the recruiting, the fan support, and again, the facilities are still top notch. Sure. Now, what you've seen is people start to spend money to catch up. When Founders Park was opened, I guess 10 years ago or 12 years ago, when Founders Park was opened, it was one of the nicest facilities in the country. Since then, you've had LSU rebuild theirs. You've had Mississippi State. We just talked about they've got an incredible facility. You've seen SEC schools start to put money into their programs, which have caught South Carolina. I'm with you on that, but
when you look around the majority, I mean, Texas A&M, they're not going to be edged out in facilities in anything. I mean, both the Mississippi schools, like South Carolina's not undoubtedly better than all of these schools. Vanderbilt's had a tremendous amount of success. Like, why is South Carolina definitely a better job than Vanderbilt?
This is an interesting point. 2 of you weigh in. Marshall says wherever our baseball coaching job ranks, the longer it's allowed to continue the way it's going now, the further down the list it goes. Yeah. And that's a good point because Trey weighs in right below that and says, I'm with Patrick on this one. We used to be a top 5 spot, but not now, not anymore. But see, I guess my point is like, all right, is it still a coveted baseball position where you know you can win a championship? Yes, you've got the fan support, you've got the backing, you've got the funding, you've got everything is there that makes it a top 5 job. Now, I guess you start to get into semantics of okay, is it better because of this? Is it better because of that? Yeah, they haven't won in 10 years. Maybe there's lowered expectations. Maybe the expectations continue to be out. That's an interesting. Forrest brings up a great question there, I think, with where South Carolina baseball is. I naturally, because
I think it's probably a tier 1 job, but to say it's undoubtedly top 5 is bold now.
If I ask you how many tier 1 jobs are there, what do you think? 20, 30, 10?
I think 20 would be too big for a tier. 10 would be fair.
Okay.
10 to 15.
I get on board
10
with
to 15.
Yeah.
But you look around the conference and like all of the best jobs in the country are in this conference.
Well, that's true.
Outside the West Coast.
And that's a good point too, as it pertains to the way the SEC has spent money and built up some of their facilities. A couple of you weighing in here. One anonymous texter saying it's not top 5 facilities or 5th, 6th in its own conference. But again, as you just pointed out, probably within if you just go top 10, what do you think? 7 of the top baseball facilities are.
But it doesn't even like they're good enough. Like if you're in that top category, like you can argue who's got the better football facility: Alabama, Clemson, Oregon, whatever. South Carolina's got an incredible facility. It's good enough. It's an elite facility. You don't have to say, well, it doesn't have a big slide or it doesn't have this. Like those things don't matter. You're going to be blown away when you come see South Carolina's baseball facilities. It's the same deal. So they're good enough facilities. It's just everything else surrounding it right now. Can you rebuild it? The fan base is a big part of it. LSU fans are brutal in every sport. That's a tough job. So I don't know how you how you put the fans in perspective here compared to other SEC schools.
803-404-6100. I see some of you lining up on the Love Chevy phone lines. We'll get out to you when we return. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game. Right now, mortgage rates are starting to climb a little bit, and you need an experienced broker to help you navigate the choppy rate conditions that are out there. And that is exactly what Benji Getsy and Buford Lending can do. Give them a phone call today, 843-524-2404. You can visit them on the web, Buford.mortgage. Again, you need someone with experience in the industry, someone who's ready and has been through these kind of situations, and Benji Getsy is that person. Allow him to be your broker today by giving him a phone call and starting with a free evaluation of your current mortgage situation. 843-524-2404. You ask why? Why Benji Getsy? Well, number one, 25 years of experience in the industry. That right there will help you be able to navigate the rates that are rising, maybe find a little bit different buying power. Also, another reason Benji is your broker, he's named in the top 1% of producing loan officers in the state of South Carolina and the entire United Wholesale Mortgage Network. Experience and qualifications, all what makes Benji Getsy stand out. 843-524-2404. Again, that's 843-524-2404. Call Benji Getsy today. 843-524-2404.
All right, I need to answer RL's question from earlier because I binged Dope Sick this weekend. You ever heard of that, Bill? The new show on Hulu, Dope Sick. It's relatively new. It's just finished its 8th episode. Outstanding. I was hooked about the invention of OxyContin and how Purdue Pharma marketed OxyContin as non-addictive, and it basically started the opioid epidemic in America. Very, very interesting. Michael Keaton's in it. I don't know what other stars are in it. Pete.
So it's not a documentary?
No, it's a show. It's a retelling of I don't know what you call that. It's a show based off a true story. Eight episodes. I crushed it this weekend. Hulu's got a couple of those out now where they're making shows based off true stories. The other one that I was thinking about watching, but I'll just watch the documentary, was the Theranos story. They just made a show about that with... No, Theranos was that health technology company. Elizabeth Holmes. She went... You don't know anything about that? Okay. I don't know much about it, but Amanda Seyfried plays Elizabeth Holmes.
There is a...
I also started watching The Girl from Plainville, which I already know the story, so I decided to stop watching it. I watched the HBO documentary, I Love You Now Die. It's about that girl who texted her like virtual boyfriend and convinced him to commit suicide via text, and she got charged with murder, I think, for it.
Yeah.
It's a depressing story. And I've already seen the documentary, so I stopped watching it. Yeah, The Dropout, RL. I might watch it, but... Yep. 160. 160 was where it... I do want to watch Winning Time. I might start that. Is it good? I'm so far behind now, though. Yeah. I'm going blind.
Online.
Not quite enough distance.
Not enough distance. A little wind in your face.
Did you stay up till 3 a.m. watching the Australian Grand Prix on Saturday night?
I was probably asleep by 8 o'clock.
I slept all day during the day, so I was wide awake at night, and then remembered that the race started at 1 a.m.
I was
locked in. Charles Leclerc got the Grand Slam.
It's impressive.
What was it? The Grand Slam is winning the pole, winning the race, fastest lap, and then something else. Can't remember what the other one was.
It was fun to watch the Xfinity race and see a couple guys go after each other.
With
Ty
their
Gibbs
fists?
smacking on.
Who was fighting?
It was Ty Gibbs and Smith. Is that his last name?
Ty Gibbs?
Yeah,
Is that
but
Joe
Ty
Gibbs'
Gibbs,
son?
Joe Gibbs' grandson.
Grandson, nice.
grandson.
Nice.
But the part about that is he's taking swings at the other guy. Other guy's got his helmet off. Ty Gibbs still has his helmet on. It's like, all right, you big weenie.
I do love a good NASCAR scrap.
Try to keep you up to date on this. Just a reminder, Wednesday evening, 6 p.m., the city of Columbia has announced plans for a parade on Main Street for the University of South Carolina women's basketball team on their 2022 national championship. So continue to look for details, parking information on that. But that will be Wednesday evening, 6 o'clock here on Main Street. The city of Columbia announcing plans for parking and road closures. So you want to keep an eye out for that information. But the parade will begin at 6 o'clock this coming Wednesday night. So if you want to make plans, I know some of you out there, maybe you're traveling this week for Easter. Maybe you're traveling because of spring break for the kids. But if you're in town or you're around, you can make plans Wednesday night, 6 o'clock here on Main Street. It'll be a parade. You can go hang out with the women's basketball team and celebrate their second national championship. 803-404-6100. Obviously, we've talked a lot about the baseball program this morning. A lot of you upset, rightfully so. South Carolina falls to Georgia this weekend. They drop 2 of 3 to the Bulldogs, and they are now 15-16 on the season overall, 4-8 in conference. We have discussed that a good bit. We've talked a lot about the Masters. Scotty Scheffler winning down there with a 10 under 278 total. He pockets $2.7 million, and he collects a green jacket, to which Patrick Pritt said he struggled to put on. So I'm guessing that was a one-time deal where he'll slip that thing on. Maybe needs more practice. And you also pointed out and shared on the Buford Lending live stream the difficulty he had trying to get his vest on and off Saturday afternoon.
I wonder if he has really long arms. I mean, just looking at him, he just looks like a large person. I don't know that his arms
Looks
are
like he's
especially
tall
long.
and maybe.
Yeah, but that could be it. It is, if you have really long arms, I can see it being difficult to get your arms through the sleeves. Has there been a back-to-back winner of the Masters ever?
Yes,
Tiger,
I
I'm
believe so.
assuming.
I,
What
I,
happens with the jacket if you win back-to-back?
what do you mean?
You get
Do
another
you
one.
put it on yourself? Do they just put
Oh.
it on top of your last jacket?
Good point.
Now you've got me going. I'm positive there's been back-to-back winners, but
I
now,
assu-
now all of
I'm
a sudden,
guessing that
it's one of those,
Tiger won back-to-back at some point, but I don't
Uh-uh.
know.
it's one of those things where I just instantly said yes, just believing that there
Yeah,
has
Tiger
been.
won back-to-back.
Okay,
Actually, several
Did
people
he?
have won back-to-back. Nick Faldo won
Faldo
back-to-back in
won.
89 and 90. Tiger won back-to-back in 01 and 02. Actually went Tiger, Phil.
Yeah.
Or no,
Well, you got a
Tiger,
Mike Weir.
Mike Weir, Phil, Tiger, Phil.
Yeah.
You know
So-
what? I sure didn't think he did. I thought it was like a year apart or something. I'll be
No,
darned.
I
Okay.
kind of, but I was pretty certain. I forgot about Faldo in 89 and 90, winning back-to-back. I did-
Jack won it in 65 and 66.
There you go.
Okay.
So yeah, we've talked a lot about that. Other things coming up here this month, though. The NFL draft is taking place, and Patrick, you spent part of the weekend narrowing it down. You've got your own. Is this a mock draft, or is this how you believe the first 10 picks should go? Because those are two.
They are two different things. It's hard to. This is how I believe it's going to go, but it's hard to kind of fully differentiate those two things, because in a way it's like I know what this team needs, and I'm kind of assuming that they'll see the board similarly to the way I see it in terms of who's the best. So this is how I think it will go, because spoiler, the Panthers, I have them taking Kenny Pickett, and I would never take Kenny Pickett at
Right.
number 6.
Okay.
So how many you want?
Let's go with just the top 5 right now.
Top
Give me
five.
your top
All right.
5 picks with a slight breakdown on each one.
Okay.
Here is Patrick Peretz draft big board, the first 5 picks. We really
So,
should get music with this.
Yes, number one overall pick, Jacksonville Jaguars. This is the easiest one of the entire draft. It's Aiden Hutchinson, the edge rusher from Michigan. He is everything that a team who struggles with culture is going to need. The Jaguars were an absolute disaster last year. Most of that can be attributed to Urban Meyer, but they have needs kind of all over the place. They don't need a quarterback, and there's a case to be made that they should draft one of these 3 great offensive tackles in this class to protect Trevor Lawrence, but I just don't think they need to. Aiden Hutchinson is a freak athlete. He was extremely productive last year, and he's a culture changer immediately. So that's number 1. That one's super easy. Number 2, the Lions. This one is tough for me. If I were them, I would love to trade down if possible, because they have a lot of needs, and I'm having them take the first quarterback. I'm having them take Malik Willis. I feel like they're ready to make the change from Jared Goff. He's not taking them anywhere. Malik Willis, by far the most talented quarterback in this class, and the Lions are one of those teams that probably have the time to move him along. You can start Jared Goff this year, let Malik Willis sit, get rid of Jared Goff next year, and then throw him into the fire. I don't completely hate that idea, but I just don't think they're ready to go quarterback yet anyway. I think they'd be better off just waiting till next year, but I do have them going Malik Willis at number 2. Number 3 is the Texans. The Texans team needs are quite literally everything. They are the worst roster in football. There's not a single position group where they're solid at all. So I just have them taking who I think is the next best player in the draft, and that's Ike Ekwonu from NC State, the offensive tackle who is just a monster in the run blocking game. Like, just mows people over nonstop. He's one of the best run blockers we've seen. Pass protection remains to be seen, but he just destroys people. And then 4 and 5 are New York picks. The Jets at 4 and the Giants at 5. The Jets maybe have the worst cornerback group in the NFL. So I'm taking Ahmad Gardner here. Sauce Gardner from Cincinnati, stud, never gave up a touchdown in his entire college career, was put on an island every single game. Teams just never threw at him. Kobe Bryant, their other corner, won the award for best defender in college, or best defensive back in college football last year, because he was the only one that ever got targeted, because Ahmad Gardner just locked down that one side. People were worried about his long speed, and then he ran fast in the 40. He ran 4.4s in the 40. So that concern is gone. He's just a stud. So it's a big jump from Cincinnati to the NFL, but the Jets are going to take him at number 4, and then they're going to have another pick in the top 10. They'll have number 10 overall. The Giants have 5 and 7. Number 5, it's a new regime, and I think they want to set the tone with just kind of a freak of a human being, and it doesn't get much freakier than Evan Neal from Alabama. So number 5 overall, Giants taking Evan Neal. He's down to 335 now from about
Oh,
350.
down
So
to
he's
335.
down to a slim 335. And if you look at him, he looks like he could be a tight end. But 6'7", 335, just tools that nobody else really has. Nobody else is waking up at 6'7", 335 and able to do some of the things he can do physically. So he's not a finished product yet, but it's hard to pick a better, mold of an offensive lineman than what Evan Neal was blessed with physically.
There we go. So there is Patrick Peretz. First 5 picks. We'll continue counting down on that. The Carolina Panthers are in the next set of picks, although he's already given that one away. Is Kenny Pickett is who he is projecting. The Panthers
it's such a bad time to be a Panthers fan.
We'll not upset too many people this morning by talking Panthers. We'll get back into some baseball, Masters as well. I know you guys are fired up for the NBA playoffs as well. Get a little jazzed up. Got some Warriors Nuggets, some Mavs Jazz. The NBA playoffs gets going this coming week.
Warriors Nuggets is an awesome first-round series.
I know. We're going to make you listen to. Let's talk a little bit about the. We're not just going to let Pearson Fowler have all the fun with the NBA talk. We will discuss that some.
Playing games are tomorrow.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Playoffs start this week. 803-404-6100. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
This just is not. This can't be true. Dan and Dalzell, Masters winners only get one jacket. If they win multiple, they use the same jacket because the jacket only belongs to the winner for 1 year. Then it has to be returned to Augusta. So why are they all wearing green jackets? It has to be returned to Augusta. They all wear their green jackets around.
You get they can have a replica made, but the one that the club makes.
Oh.
Yeah.
So what? That's so dumb. So anybody can just buy a green jacket and just wear it. I mean, the Champions Dinner, they're all wearing green jackets.
Right, that's because their jackets. It's like going to.
So they don't have to wear the green jacket. That's a green jacket replica that they bought themselves.
What do you mean?
The one that they're wearing at the Champions Dinner.
No, because it's at the club, so they go back.
Oh, it stays in their locker?
Yeah.
But if you win 5 of them, you can't have 5 in your locker? Why? So Tiger definitely doesn't have 5 in his locker.
Yeah, I mean, look up the origin of the Masters green jacket. I mean, you can technically look. You can buy one on Amazon for $86. Apparently on eBay for $67. Yeah, look at there you go. Golf.com. Masters green jacket. The strict rules that come with it.
So you can't wear it outside of that golf course?
Well, yeah, they can wear it for 1 year. So, like when I remember learning about this because Bubba Watson did some stuff with his green jacket. I think the first time, and they were like, "No, you can't do that." And he's like, "It's my jacket. I can do whatever I want with it."
I don't like a lot of things that go along with this tournament. I will never say patrons. And I heard Cam Smith in his post round interview say the back 9, and I thought he was going to get kicked off the premises and not welcomed back.
That's right. All right, the club first ball jackets from Brooks Uniform Company. Let's see, there have been a few different suppliers. Hamilton has been making them since the jackets weren't. Let's see. So, yeah, there you go. The last 2 times there was a repeat champion, Nick Faldo, and Tiger Woods, the club's chairman, assisted with the jacket. Jackets are reserved for club members and Masters winners. That's it.
Wait, all club members get a jacket?
Apparently so. I didn't know that.
What?
And he said, that's it. And don't even think about taking them off the grounds. That is right. That right is reserved only for the reigning champ after the victory. But when their year is up, they return next April to defend their title. The jacket stays put as soon as the new champion puts theirs on.
I would leave with my jacket and they'd say, no, you can't do that. I'd say, you know what? I lost all respect for your stupid little rules when you let Dude Perfect come throw frisbees on your golf course. I would roll my eyes and say, if Dude Perfect can come here and play soccer golf, I'm going to do whatever I want. Scotty Scheffler is the most boring person on the planet.
What did I miss about? What is RL? Oh, you're just talking about winning time.
It's the new show, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I just saw own the Lakers before the Bus family.
Jack Kent Cooke. I know about Jack Kent Cooke because he owned the Redskins. He was the one that built FedEx Field right before he died, and we've been suffering with it ever since. I don't know anything about him owning the Lakers, but
in the last segment where you were talking, I learned that David Beckham's oldest son apparently got married over the weekend in Miami. Apparently, his oldest son is 23. Brooklyn Beckham.
who you get married to? It has to be a celebrity.
To be quite honest,
Nicola Peltz.
I thought the names were backwards. I thought Brooklyn Beckham was going to be a girl and Nicola Peltz was going to be a male. 7:39 on a Monday morning. We did that all last week. April the 11th. That's how quickly I feel like we're flying through 2022. That I'm still stuck in March, but it is April.
It's Christmas season.
It is. I was telling some family members that over the weekend that we're 7 months away from it really getting invested in the Christmas season.
I can't wait.
It's about time to.
I cannot wait.
The joke was because it was cold. It was chilly on Saturday, and a couple people were joking like they may as well just put the Christmas tree back up if it's going to be this cold in April.
Mm-hmm. How cold was it really though?
I was at a soccer field. If
it
you
was
ask me,
pretty
it was
cold.
5 degrees.
When I left on Sunday morning to go to the store, it was 34 degrees.
Oof.
Yeah,
in
was
April.
cold.
Yeah.
April.
Yeah, that's usually
the 4th
Well,
April.
they were having back home in Illinois, they were actually having snow showers, and when I was up in Gatlinburg this weekend, there were snow showers off and on, like squalls of snow, and it's like, what? No, stop!
Yeah, what are we doing?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
no.
we moved to South Carolina for the heat, and
Yeah.
humidity, not for 34 degrees on April 10th. That's
True
for sure.
story there.
But we're heading in the right direction now as we look ahead to the forecast this coming week, especially if you're heading down to the RBC Heritage. We got a lot going on this week, actually. 82 degrees today, 85 tomorrow, 84 on Wednesday. Thursday got a better chance of rain, 82, 85 on Friday. And then Saturday, obviously, we've not talked much about it. We will as the week goes on, Patrick. But Saturday night, 7 o'clock, Williams-Brice Stadium, South Carolina will have their spring game. And it is projected to be 80 degrees right now, about a 20% chance of rain several days out. But that spring game, we'll get more into it as the week goes along. I'll ask again, like, anything happen this weekend that makes you feel great about the team? Or is it only a situation where there's so much energy and so much enthusiasm that if Spencer Rattler goes out and it's like 5 of 19 passing for 45 yards and Cam Smith has 3 interceptions, you're like, oh, wait a minute. That Marcus Satterfield is not good. And
I don't know. I say that, but then I say that like nothing can influence me. It is what it is. But then a Marshawn Lloyd highlight squeaks out over the weekend of him taking one like 40 yards to the house. And I was like, oh my gosh, he's back. I started feeling something and I was like, oh, 45 yards from Marshawn Lloyd. Just turn on the Jets, no brace. Like I can see myself getting excessively fired up if Jaheim Bell just comes out and just looks incredible, is jumping up, snagging one-handers over people's head. I'll just be like, oh man, he's going to be a first-round pick next year. And I can definitely get carried away if people start looking incredible.
Yeah, I don't think Jaheim Bell will be playing this weekend. I think he's still going to be out. I don't know the exact details on all the injuries. I'm guessing we'll get that later in the week since there's no need to hide injuries going into the spring game.
Is it going to be a letdown? Because there's a lot of hype for this thing. The night game, are they going to do cool things, or is it ultimately just going to be a glorified practice and it's going to
You definitely you're hyping it. There's a fine line between going out and maybe being a little overboard and not getting the most out of an opportunity to practice, and also going out and doing. And I get it. Last year there was a lot of injuries. There was I think it was Heath Klein and I were doing the game, and obviously got moved to Sunday last year because of inclement weather on Saturday. But we went out and Jaheim Bell was taking handoffs.
Yeah, wearing
to
the
start
number,
the game.
wearing the number 23.
I think
Nobody
you
knew who
were. I
he
think you
was.
were producing, and that's how we found out. I think you were the one that had to tell us because we also didn't have a roster.
And he wasn't wearing the right number. We didn't know who he was.
Exactly, and it was a kind of a weird situation. I do think, to answer your question, there has to be a level of there has to be something for the fans besides just the Patrick Davis concert, you know?
Yeah.
Like, when you go in, tie one hand behind the defensive back's, back and allow Spencer Rattler to go out and look really good so that everybody gets very excited about it. I don't know. You're right. You can't just have the practice scenario and then, we're going to do some situational stuff.
And then we're going to throw a ball to Dawn Staley.
Right.
And then that's it.
Or somebody, whomever you want to get out there and throw around with. But, I think this coming Saturday night, and I'll be interested to hear as we move through the week and we get people's opinions on what exactly you're looking for, because the spring game is always that odd situation where you're right. If Marshawn Lloyd goes out and looks great, we say he's healthy, as well as I am, there's going to be people calling in on Monday going, but that defensive line's not very good. And Jimmy Lindsey can't coach him up. And I don't know what's going to happen. We're not going to be able to stop anybody running the football.
No, the spring game is tough. I don't know what can – like Clemson, I'm a little bit jealous of what they had going on this weekend because they have a legit quarterback battle. Like, that's cool. You can watch the spring game and completely overreact to every single throw and say, wow, okay, this is going to be our quarterback this year. Oh, Cade's going to beat him out. Oh, no, DJ's looking good now. And, like, that's kind of fun. There's really the glaring questions for South Carolina are more just about, I don't even know. Like, how's the offensive line going to fare in year 2 with the same group? But these are questions that aren't going to be answered in an inter-squad scrimmage.
Right.
So there's not too much that we can read into it. Those types of questions aren't going to be answered. It's maybe like Juice Wells, you say, okay, well, he's the one newcomer that's expected to make the biggest impact. Maybe you see something from him. I don't really know.
Yeah, it's one of those things where if he gets behind the defense 2 or 3 times and has 2 or 3 long touchdown catches, I feel like South Carolina fans in particular, the point is to get more negative than anything else. To be like, well, now the secondary stinks. Okay, well, we'll see if Juice Wells is really good.
I saw Cade Klubnik highlight where they're like, oh, look at this throw, and he literally tosses it in double coverage. What? Why are you excited about that?
803-404-6100. We'll continue talking spring game, get back into baseball a little bit, the Masters, and we'll get more NFL draft breakdown from Patrick Perrette there. He's giving out his first top 5 picks. So we'll get into that Kenny Pickett selection he thinks the Panthers will have coming up in a few weeks, get his take on a little bit of NFL discussion. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game. Oh, finally, we get warm weather. That means finally being able to go out and enjoy your pool, being able to go out, hop in, swim around, have a good old time. And I tell you what, if that pool is dirty, you're not going to enjoy it. Matter of fact, it's going to be quite awful. That's why you need to call Corley Pool Solutions. Every pool has its own personality. That's right. And do you trust your local pool store representative to know what your pool's personality is if they're not actually coming there, looking at the pool and being able to identify any of the problems? That's why you need to call Corley Pool Solutions today, 803-445-8109. It is more affordable to use Tracy Corley and Corley Pool Solutions than it is for you to actually visit that pool store. They come out flat rate pricing, including all of the chemicals. That's right, flat rate pricing. There's no hidden fees. There's no extra fees. It's flat rate pricing. So call Corley Pool Solutions today and get those cleanings lined up. 803-445-8109. And now Corley Pool Solutions offers leak detection. That's something you certainly want to take advantage of. 803-445-8109. Again, you can get in touch with Tracy Corley. 20 years of experience in the industry. He knows exactly how to get that pool looking beautiful, so you're ready to jump in starting this week. 803-445-8109. That's Corley Pool Solutions. 7:51 on a Monday morning. Again, want to let you know coming up this Wednesday, April the 13th, 6 p.m., City of Columbia has announced plans for parking and road closures ahead of a parade to honor the South Carolina women's basketball team on their 2022 national championship. That'll be this coming Wednesday here on Main Street downtown, 6 o'clock. So you can make plans to bring the family out and join along with Dawn Staley and the team as they celebrate their second national championship in Dawn's tenure here, second in the school's history there for women's basketball. 6 o'clock this coming Wednesday night here downtown Main Street. I'm sure more details will continue to come out regarding this as far as the parade and any questions that will be put out. So make sure you mark your calendars. Tonight, Patrick and I discussed just a little bit, the WNBA draft will take place. Destiny Henderson is who South Carolina fans will want to keep an eye on. One projection. Remember, I think it was Robin or Hope or someone on our Buford Lending live stream, Patrick, was a little surprised that Destiny Henderson was not in the first round. But let's remember, this isn't like the NBA draft or the there's 12. There's 12 picks. So a little bit more difficult sometimes to end up in the first round. But Destiny Henderson expected to be drafted. She's actually part of the headline that is up right now on CBSSports.com. Ryan Howard is expected to be the number one pick. She is from Kentucky. There was a big trade over the weekend, and a lot of people think the Las Vegas Aces, Patrick, will end up taking Destiny Henderson to star alongside Asia Wilson.
That would be nice. That's kind of the goal. And I looked through the mock draft, and it looks like it's pretty forward / wing heavy. And Henderson's, I guess, undersized. Like Ryan Howard's a guard too, but she's 6'2". Destiny Henderson's 5'7". Most of these other players, and Alyssa Smith from Baylor, who was longtime number one pick projection throughout this year. I think recently it's turned more in favor of Ryan Howard, but she's 6'4" forward, 6'5" Ole Miss center. Shakira Austin is up here at the top. It's just a lot of bigger players, but the little write up here has her projected at number 10 to the Indiana Fever. This is on ESPN from I think 6 days ago, saying if Henderson is still available, the Fever will be happy to add her both as a defensive spark plug and someone who can be a game changer on offense. We saw evidence of both of the Final Four as Henderson helped keep Paige Beckers in check while leading the Gamecocks in scoring. So either way, first, second round, I don't know how the money part of it differs in the first and second round. In the NBA, it's huge. Being a first round pick, you have guaranteed contract. In the second round, nothing's guaranteed. So being a first round pick in the NBA draft is a much bigger deal. Either way, Destiny Henderson will be a top 15 or so pick at the latest. I would think that her performance in the Final Four would give her a lot of momentum going into this, and she could be a top 8 pick, which would be nice if she goes to Vegas at 8, but we'll have to see. It'll start at 7 o'clock on ESPN.
Yeah, this is the write-up from CBS Sports. You mentioned ESPN's got her at 10. CBS Sports has her at 8 going to Las Vegas, and it says the South Carolina guard played her way into the first round with an incredible performance in the NCAA National Championship game. Her defense, playmaking, and three-point shooting would make her a good fit. And if you want to connect some dots, fellow Gamecock Asia Wilson is likely giving her a strong recommendation. That will be 7 o'clock tonight. ESPN is where you can check that out as Destiny Henderson. Again, strange to say. I say strange. It's a good thing for South Carolina. They have had 2 transfers, Anaya Russell and
Alyssa Westlook.
Westlook, 2 transfers. So 3 people heading out of the program. Victoria Saxton coming back, another loaded recruiting class for Dawn Staley. Hard to imagine they won't be the preseason number 1 again next year, Patrick.
They will comfortably be number 1. It's just going to be a matter of who's – honestly, Destiny Henderson's going to be some big shoes to fill. She was so composed all the time in the biggest moments, which was, I think, the most impressive part of her performance in the national championship. Anytime there was pressure, she comfortably would be able to dribble out of it. She was ferocious on defense against Paige Beckers. So it's not going to be an easy role to fill, but they've got lots of good options there.
Zach on the text line asks, will the spring game be televised? It will be live streamed on SEC Network Plus or ESPN Plus,
app.
whatever.
If you have the ESPN app on your smart TV or whatever, it'll be on there.
We will not be shown live on television. It's something you have to stream. We'll talk more about the Masters, some baseball, and other topics. Hour 3 up next on the early game. Earn, EARN. Earn. Again, that is EARN. (8:01) on a Monday morning, getting you back into the work week. A lot of schools out on spring break, so no need to get the kids up and at 'em this morning. Just yourself. We've got one more hour before we turn it over to Pearson Fowler. Been talking a lot of Masters from the weekend. Scotty Scheffler shooting a 10 under 278 to collect his first green jacket. Tiger Woods playing all 4 rounds, Patrick. And I don't know if I didn't know what to expect from Tiger Woods this past weekend. I just happy to see him back. Don't know if he'll ever be. I don't know how competitive he'll ever be again. He's already committed now to playing the Open. Is not sure about the PGA Championship, but I don't know if I ever expect Tiger Woods to be ultra competitive. It's not that I don't think he can. I'm not gonna. I'll never write him off. I just when he takes to the course, it more of a novelty act now than it is.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, he did win the last one that there were fans at.
The last
Masters 2019 that was the last full-fledged Masters event,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. This one was because 2020 was in
But this one's
November.
different because this is the first one post the most recent accident. So if I had to bet, I'm betting that he's going to win another tournament.
You think he wins another?
I think he also is a drama queen and plays up the stuff and talks like, oh, I just want to, be able to walk. And then once tournament time starts, he's like, oh yeah, I can win it. And I think he puts on a show and plays everything up a little bit. I think he's going to win another tournament.
Okay, all right.
If I had to bet on, I don't know what the odds would be. What
I don't think it'll be a major.
Tiger Woods to win another major for the rest of his career be like what plus?
It's a good question. I don't know.
2000.
You probably look that up and see if you. I don't know if Vegas or anybody would be putting those odds out because you just don't know. But the bottom line on that, I think, is, Jen, you said another major.
To me, he might win a tournament, but
his schedule is going to be very limited moving forward. You'll see him. My guess is you'll see him in the coming years play in the 4 majors. I don't know what other tournaments. Maybe he plays, like, say, Pebble Beach. Maybe he plays Sawgrass. Maybe he plays the Memorial. He's already said he admitted basically even pre-injury before the car wreck that his tournament schedule was going to be pared down significantly. Now I think he's all but said that, he'll play the 4 majors. You might see him play. Like I said, I don't know what other tournaments he would deem. Maybe he plays in honor of Arnold Palmer. Maybe he plays a Bay Hill. I don't know. He'll play less than, my guess is he'll play less than 10 tournaments a year. And 4 of those are going to be majors as long as he's healthy. I would say this really starts more next year. I think this year's still rehab and trying to get his body completely back. But I would say starting next year, I would not expect him to play more than 10 tournaments a year, 4 of those being the majors, and then maybe 6 others that he deems like a Pebble Beach, like a Sawgrass, like again, I say the Memorial because it's the Jack Nicklaus tournament. Maybe you throw in 3 other. I don't know if he really cares to play in the World Match Play Championships anymore. And I don't know if that's one. I'm not sure where he would rank that on his list. And that's also a lot of golf.
Is he good enough to be on the Ryder Cup team?
The one, his point, and I do agree with his golf game, and this is why I can agree with you on him winning another major. His golf game is okay. It's right now, it's going to be, some of it is him getting back to full strength and being able to walk 18 holes. And I think you saw that this past weekend with him just being worn down. Saturday was difficult. Saturday was difficult on everybody. But yesterday he goes out and shoots 78. It was pretty good conditions yesterday. Like it was nice out there yesterday. That's going to be the big thing for him, I think, moving forward. But the golf portion of it, I think Tiger Woods will be, the golf game will be perfectly fine. It's how healthy can he get, and how does his body respond after 4 days of walking and doing everything he had to do. But it was interesting to see him this weekend against Scotty Scheffler. And really not, I'm with Patrick on this. There was some good moments to this golf tournament. There was some entertainment to this golf tournament, but by and large, it was a golf tournament.
Yeah.
It was a 5 out of a 10. Like going into Saturday, the lead, you only had 2 guys really in contention, Cam Smith and Scotty Scheffler, and it was a 3-stroke lead at that. You're right. Yesterday, Scheffler comes out and bogeys 1, and Cam Smith birdies, and it looked like Cam Smith maybe can make a round of it, and then Scheffler, I think on 3, if I'm thinking
It
correctly,
was 3, yeah.
chipped in, and the next thing you knew, the thing was out of hand.
I mean, he got himself into trouble on all 3 of the first 3 holes and was pretty ridiculous getting himself out of trouble. He was just so solid. It was really, he was the only player to go under par in all 4 rounds. The end of it was just completely anticlimactic.
Yeah.
When you can 4-putt to win the tournament, it's not competitive.
And you're right. From a viewing standpoint, I wasn't pulling against Scotty Scheffler. I was pretty indifferent to who won. There wasn't a guy that I was out there necessarily pulling for. You just want to see some drama and some fun on the back 9 at Augusta, and we didn't really get any of that. But it was good. The world's number 1 player wins, and we'll move on now to Brookline.
Man, I'm looking at the winnings right now, and Cameron Smith had a relatively makeable putt on 18 to take sole possession of second place, or sole possession of third place maybe. But if he had got second, there's a $800,000 difference between second and third place. Just so much money between each spot when it goes from 2.7 to 1.6 to 870,000 to 600,000, and then all the way down. And Tiger made himself 43K.
43, yeah.
Decent little weekend.
Yeah, not bad. PGA Championship May 19th through 22nd at Southern Hills Country Club in Tulsa, and then the U.S. Open at the Country Club in Brookline, Massachusetts, coming up June 16th through 19th. And again, to go back to what I just said, you look at it, we probably will not see. Maybe Tiger plays June 2nd through the 5th in the Memorial up in Ohio. Other than that, he committed to playing in the U.S. Open. He is not sure on the PGA Championship, or at least that's what I saw late last night after everything was over. So we'll continue to watch that. The other thing we've been talking about this morning, South Carolina baseball, they dropped 2 of 3 to Georgia over the weekend. The Bulldogs came in ranked 14th nationally. South Carolina losing Friday night 3-2 to Georgia. They give up 2 runs in the 9th. We talked a little bit about pitching there. Noah Hall had thrown 108 pitches and was pulled in the 7th inning, which pulled after the 7th inning, which Patrick and I both kind of understood and agreed with. You just got to have guys come in and get outs. Saturday, South Carolina puts up 13 runs and rolls 13-7. Yesterday, though, they got down big. They were down 8-0, Patrick. They cut it to 8-4. Georgia makes it 12-4. They end up losing 13-9. It sounds competitive when you look at the final box score, but again, this team, South Carolina, was down 8-0 pretty quickly yesterday. They gave up 5 in the first and 3 more in the fourth before trying to rally. Both teams put up 4 runs in the 6th, but this was really a game yesterday that South Carolina was out of it from the get-go. When you're down 8-0 going into the bottom half of the fourth, that's putting a lot of pressure on your team to come back and try and win a game.
Yeah, I'm assuming that most people didn't even see the rest of it because it's hard to stay invested in a game where you start out like that, and especially a rubber match, and they just have not been good in those this entire season. I mean, they're not a very good baseball team. We asked in the first hour, do you think they'll crack 500 again? They got Ole Miss this weekend. You said they're number 10 right now. Is that what you saw in the newest rankings? Top 10 team?
I don't think the new rankings have come out this morning. I think they come out around lunchtime today. Again, I always there's 37 different polls. I always go off of the D1 baseball ranking, and Mississippi was because this is going to change. They were number 9. They went 0-4 last week.
Yeah.
They lost to Southern Mississippi in the midweek game and got swept by Alabama. They're going to drop. I don't know if they'll drop all the way outside of the top 25, but they were number 9 going into the weekend.
Does that make you excited as a South Carolina fan getting them next weekend? I mean, they're going to have a point to prove now. They're obviously a good team. So, you got them. That'll be your chance to get back above 500 because after that, you're at Winthrop in the midweek game, and South Carolina can't play on the road, 1-7 on the road. And then you got a road series at Auburn. Then no midweek game the next week and against Alabama. I don't see where the wins are going to come. I mean, you have opportunities to win series and play your way back into this, but nothing South Carolina has done this season has led you to believe that they have that in them.
Yeah, no idea what to expect from this baseball team. I barely know what to expect in the Tuesday night game against North Florida this week, let alone what to expect. The Thursday reminder of baseball this weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday will be that series this coming week. Not the Friday, Saturday, Sunday series. It'll be Thursday, Friday, Saturday this weekend against Mississippi here in town at Founders Park. The other thing that we mentioned this morning, and we should mention again, Patrick, just unfortunate, unfathomable news, the passing of Dwayne Haskins, current or was current Pittsburgh Steeler quarterback. He was originally with the Washington football team and was the number 15 pick. Is that right?
15, yeah.
Had been the number 15 pick out of Ohio State. Just tragic news. He was down in Miami, going through training with some teammates, some wide receivers, some other people down in South Florida. And over the weekend, I'm guessing more details will continue to come out, but was trying to pass an intersect or cross an intersection on foot and was struck by a dump truck early Saturday morning while walking on a highway. Again, I have not seen any real information as to why he was walking down I-595 with oncoming traffic or what was going on. He was attempting to cross the westbound lanes of Interstate 595 where there was oncoming traffic, according to the report. Just unfortunate news. And again, this was a guy that had some problems in the NFL, but seemed widely respected and liked by his teammates.
Just he was known to be a really nice, smart kid, and things hadn't worked out in Washington. But I mean, he was going to be 25 in May, like still so young. And it's just, he was incredible at Ohio State, great career, made a huge impact on that program and everyone around it. You can see from the tweets from all of his teammates. I saw a lot of them retweeted this weekend. Terry McLaurin, Paris Campbell, a lot of these NFL guys that just clearly loved him. And he was out there just getting extra work in with the Steelers receivers this weekend. And just something you never expect to wake up and read. I mean, I got 5 texts from when I woke up on Saturday saying that. I was like, what? How is that possible? And it's really, really sad. And I, again, watched like 100 times the video of him as a little kid in the Ohio State locker room with his replica jersey on, and his dad filming him on a home video camera. And he says, this is awesome. This is where I'm going to go to college. And he did. He dreamed of going to Ohio State. I remember hearing his name when he was 16 or 17 years old, and he was committed to University of Maryland. He went to high school in the DC area. Everyone kind of knew who he was in that area. Flipped to Ohio State because it was his dream school. And just watching a video like that of him as a little kid, and it was really only 10 to 15 years ago, and just seeing that and thinking about how his family feels right now. He's married, and it's terrible. 24 years old. It just tragic.
Yeah, it was something that you hate to hear about it, and certainly thoughts and prayers with him. Very tragic weekend for him. So those are a couple of the things from the sporting world this weekend. 803-445. I don't know what phone number I'm about to give out. I have zero clue what phone number I was just about to get. I know exactly what I was. In the break, I was cutting a spot for Corley Pools, and that's what phone number I was about to give out was their phone number. So it's just kind of going there along the way. If you want to join us again, 803-404-6100, how you can be a part of the program this morning. You can hop on the Buford Lending live stream as well. A couple of you weighing in. Again, spring game this coming weekend. We've talked a little bit about that, Patrick, and it's your first chance to see Spencer Rattler in person. And we've kind of talked about it. What do you go out expecting to see from him? Like, you hope, and it's not going to happen, but you hope that the expectations stay even keel for this guy, and that you don't go into the season hoping for him to be Superman and throw 47 touchdowns and, for 5,000 yards, and South going to go 14-0. You want to keep, I think, expectations realistic, but what do you think people will expect to see from him on Saturday night at the spring game?
Well, I'm expecting to see a scripted first drive with just easy, quick passes. And at some point, it'll just be mostly easy, quick hitters. And at some point towards the end, his last couple plays, they're going to call deep shots and let him just rip a few downfield. That's what I'm expecting. I'm not expecting to see very much. I don't think they want to have him out there breaking the pocket, making crazy throws all day long. I think they're going to try and make it pretty easy for him, predetermine his first 3 or 4 plays. They'll probably be screens or RPOs or something really simple and quick, and then by the end, to give people a little bit of a taste of what his arm talent is truly like, they'll let him toss a couple deep balls down the sideline to Juice Wells or whoever it might be down the sideline. That's what I'm expecting.
You know, the other thing about this coming weekend that is kind of interesting, I don't think Luke Doty will play. They've allowed him to be more a part of the scrimmages. Maybe he does play. I think you're trying to take it so easy with
Yeah.
him to get him back healthy. But your first chance to really see the development of Colton Gauthier as well. Braden Davis has been on campus. You've got some quarterbacks to which you can roll out there. And I think it's a little more interesting than just going, oh, the second guy is a walk-on who, we haven't seen nothing from. Like, you can kind of divide the quarterbacks up a little bit. I'll be interested to see the development of Colton Gauthier, who's now been on campus for a full year and gone through 2 spring practices.
I'm gonna make the bold prediction right now that at some point during this game, Zeb Nolan's coming out in full pads and throwing a pass. That's my theory. They have to do something like fun or hacky sort of. And I feel like just throwing Colonel Zebulaya in full pads and having him come out there and throw a couple passes, I feel like that's going to happen.
Just show back
That's
up
just a
on-
random hunch. There's nothing leading me to believe that, but I'm guessing that that's going to happen.
803-404-6100.
I do want people to throw out the wildest guess of like their bit that they're going to have during the game. Like, is it going to be Darius Rucker playing a song live in one end zone while the game is still going on? And is it going to be throwing a touchdown pass to Aaliyah Boston or something like that? Like, what is it going to be? I'm saying Zeb Nolan throws a pass in full pads.
I could see, would Zeb Nolan be the one you trot him out there to throw the off the sideline pass? So he gets to go out there and the off the sideline person. I feel like Dawn Staley is too easy. She's done it before.
Yeah, she's already been.
And I feel like that wouldn't catch you. You need like with Asia Wilson. I don't know what exactly Asia Wilson's schedule would be like, but you could do that to honor, a Gamecock great, to honor the women's basketball team. You have like Aaliyah Boston is a good one too. If you try to Aaliyah Boston, if she comes out off the sideline,
there probably will be some of the Spurrier era guys here because they all have been more involved in talking about the program. Like Alshon might be back.
True. I don't think he's got anything else going on.
I don't know what Gilmore's got going on right now.
He's a free agent.
I know.
By
so
the way,
I don't know where he is.
Do you want to venture a guess as to where he may end up? We've
I
got.
think he'll eventually re-sign back in Carolina.
You think Carolina is the most likely option?
I would think the most likely because he does live here, and it would be the easiest if all of the offers are reasonably within the same. I mean, if everyone's just going to offer him a 1-year deal, I would think he would just take the one in Carolina. He's not going to get a huge deal.
I was going to ask you, what is the market for Stephon Gilmore right now? What are the other options? I haven't really seen his name bandied about.
There are plenty of cornerback needy teams, but not everybody's got that much money to spend right now. And there's already been like younger guys re-signing. Like J.C. Jackson was the one that signed the big deal this offseason, and I don't know who else is really in desperate need of a veteran, probably $10 million corner right now. It's just I don't think he's going to get the offer that he expects. If he wants a 3-year deal, it's probably going to be less than $10 million a year. So he's probably going to wait. He also could be in a situation where he's older now. He doesn't need to do training camp. He might just wait till training camp's already started and then sign so that he gets to skip all the conditioning and all that stuff that older players don't like.
Very wise on his part. Richard weighing in on our text line, 803-404-6100. He says, already know what to expect from Spencer. We'll be watching the offensive line to see if they're aggressive and turning guys on blocks or getting significant push upfield. And Brandon weighing in on the text line, he says, this is boring, but they'll throw Lamont Paris out there for the off the sidelines play.
Yeah, that could be it.
That
would be boring.
I am with you. Like, nothing against Lamont Paris, but I'm with you.
You got to get the first-year basketball coach involved, get some hype around the program. Dawn already brought him up on stage saying, yeah, I think Brandon actually is right about that.
I don't know. We'll see.
I hope it's something fun, like actually creative and fun that we haven't thought of. The off the sideline pass by itself is not enough.
And then now we're just getting. I think this is going down your path of what is the most creative thing. Anonymous texter says Ric Flair tosses a pass to Dawn Staley while Darius Rucker does the play-by-play.
That would be nice.
Yeah, that would be. Although that means to do play-by-play, you're going to have to get Heath Klein out of the booth. Good luck with that. I don't think Heath would just turn over his mic to Darius Rucker for that. I think Heath wants to be on the call for that.
Yeah, he would want, because that would be a legendary moment. He wants his voice in the background of that.
He would. Yeah. Good luck getting Heath Klein off the mic to allow Darius Rucker to call that. 803-404-6100. We'll continue on. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game. If you're going to be the person that throws the off the sideline pass, or I don't know exactly how we're labeling it, but if you're going to be that person, you better be feeling pretty good. Don't need to have any joint pain or problems with ligaments or tissues. You need to be feeling great. And if you've been suffering from those kind of issues lately, it's time to call QC Kinetics, 803-281-6860. You need to be enjoying your life, especially here during the spring and summer, getting out and playing a little golf or playing with the kids in the yard or even doing cannonballs into the pool. But if you've been experiencing nagging pain in your knees, your hips, shoulders, and back, it's kept you from being mobile, kept you from being active, call QC Kinetics today for a free evaluation. 803-281-6860. Again, that's 803-281-6860. You can get a free consultation or a free second opinion and learn more about these amazing natural biologic treatments that QC Kinetics is working with to help people all over America get real, lasting pain relief. Call today and find out what they can do for you. 803-281-6860. Again, that's 803-281-6860. It's absolutely life-changing results. You can get back to moving like you used to. No drugs, no surgery, and most importantly, no downtime. Call QC Kinetics today. 803-281-6860. That's QC Kinetics.
Tua's luau. That's fun. Integrating Gamecock Larry into the spring game would be smart. They're not going to let him run into Spencer Rattler on his scooter, though. Maybe Zeb Nolan. Maybe Zeb Nolan would let the scooter bump into him, but you can't risk Rattler. But we would know if that was going to happen. You think Gamecock Larry would be able to keep a secret? He would call in the next day saying, "Hey, I just got off the phone with Coach Beamer. I'm going to be at the spring game." He can't keep a secret. He would tell us immediately.
Yeah. He'd be on every show.
Letting everyone know that he's going to be involved. He'd call in and say, "I ain't going to tell you, but I'm going to be involved in the spring game. I ain't going to tell you what I'm going to be doing, but I am going to be sacking the quarterback."
Playing golf today with Clayton White and Jody Wright.
What is today? The Gamecock Club event?
Gamecock Club. Yeah, we don't tee off till 12:30, so it's kind of one of those things. Like, it made no sense to go there at 6 a.m. and broadcast.
But it's staying around for 3 hours.
Yeah, like, I'm gonna go home after this. I gotta go by my other office. So. $8:30 on a beautiful Monday morning, April the 11th. Hope you're doing well this morning. Spring break for a lot of the kids out there. It'll be spring game this coming Saturday night. Kind of asking what maybe you are anticipating or looking forward to. A couple of you have weighed in this morning. Ron from Lake Marion, who apparently sleeping in more and more often now. He used to be one of the first ones in. He says on the first drive, Rattler scores after a 40-plus yard run. And then he says Muschamp runs out, making it rain with $100 bills, putting us under NCAA investigation. That'd be something.
That would be unfortunate.
That would be something. That would be something. Let's see. Brandon weighing in and says, fullback. I think he's going fullback. Scores on a trap play, then removes helmet, and it's Aaliyah Boston. Yeah, okay. Also, would be something. A couple of you weighing in on that. Let's get out to the Love Chevy phone lines. Thomas wants to weigh in on the spring game. Thomas, how you doing this morning? What's on your mind?
Oh, nothing much. Just my trap play would be you trot the national championship women's basketball team out to run a play on offense. Olivia Thompson throwing down there the cookies. I watched them throw the ball around once before. And Olivia got a pretty good little arm on her. And you know Zia Cook has a football background. That would be cool.
Okay. I could get on board with that. You do something. You would imagine besides just walking them out during a play or during a quarter and honoring them,
to the crowd.
There's going to be, you would think Shane will get involved somehow, some way, right? Or I say Shane will get them involved somehow, some way.
I would think so. I mean, that's the most, when we're talking about gimmicky things, that's the most obvious. Because they did just win a championship. They're having a parade 3 days before the spring game. That is the most obvious thing to get them involved.
Go back and see. I forget because it's big Gamecock weekend, and we will be promoting it here as we go through the week. And now I'm trying to go back because as you and I, as you were cutting up about a couple weeks ago, I'm seeing if there was a link to what all is going on this coming Saturday because there's like a Gamecock trot, I believe, a 5K or you remember everything?
Oh, I remember there was a 5K.
Yeah,
Right,
there was.
Yeah, 0% chance. Well, I won't even be here. Well, yeah, trying to wake up in the morning, run a 5K, and then go to a baseball game, and then go to the spring game, there's no shot that you could make it through all of that. And it will be 80 degrees. We did discuss that.
Yeah, it's going to warm up. Do we have I've got it
right
right here.
I see the whole weekend. I'm looking for it to be laid out better. The Cocky Trot 5K will be at Gamecock Park. April 14th, the baseball team's game against Ole Miss at 7 p.m. continues April 15th with beach volleyball against Georgia State and College of Charleston, men's tennis against Texas A&M, and the baseball series with Ole Miss at 7 p.m., and that is Friday. Then the Cocky Trot 5K in the morning, and then the Gamecock Track Invitational and beach volleyball against Florida Gulf Coast and Coastal Carolina.
And yeah, so Gamecock Park, for those of you wanting to get out and tailgate, here's a little bit of the details. Gamecock Park will open at 3 p.m. and is free to fans. The Lexington Medical Center Fair Park will open for fans at 4 p.m. and will be $10 per vehicle. Again, you'll have the spring game at 7 o'clock. At 6 o'clock, there will be the alumni game as well. A lot going on this coming weekend. To continue talking about the spring game, let's get back out to the Love Chevy phone lines. David wants to weigh in on the spring game. David, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing pretty good this morning. Hope y'all are. My take on the spring game is a little different. I'm not really going to see a certain particular individual or anything. I've always tried to get as many people to go with me as possible because I think Shane's doing his part to get us on track. And I feel that it's not too much to ask for one evening to pack the stadium to help him evaluate the way the new talent reacts to a large crowd. And then on a personal note, Patrick, I'm glad you're an integral part of the program now. I appreciate your bluntness and your takes. And Bill, as far as you're concerned, I really appreciate you persevering through all that backlash when the morning program went from 3 to down to 2. On the message boards and stuff, we heard a lot of flack and complaints because people don't like change. But I appreciate you persevering through that and keeping going. And I enjoy what y'all do. And I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.
Appreciate the phone call.
Yeah, and most of that was just because when you have a female behind the scenes, that's what elevates the program.
You did. You elevated. You.
Correct.
We stand on your shoulders every morning.
I don't like to put it out there that often because I'm a humble kind of person.
I've
but
noticed.
Yeah, just want you to know. How did you like the wife, Scheffler's wife? That was so cool that he included her like on that walk. I mean, most times the guys are at the Masters, they usually kind of walk by themselves, but it seems like he kind of kept her with him quite a bit. I thought
He
that was
did bring
kinda
her to
neat.
the clubhouse with her and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
That allowed there?
I don't know. I don't
think
know
if you
what was normal or
win,
not.
We were talking about this off air as it pertains to the green jacket. And Jen, I think you heard us on the live stream. Just the rules that are allowed for the green jacket about how you have to bring it back. Patrick's already basically said if he was to ever win a green jacket, he'd never take it back. They'd have to come to his house.
I do not care about their rules at all.
Yeah, Patrick would just.
I would bring my phone. I would yell at on the backswings. I would do.
You'd be escorted out quickly.
You have to bring the
Fine.
jacket back.
So the rules for the green jacket are you get it. He is last night after everything, you win. And of course, everybody wants to be fitted for a jacket right after they win their biggest golf accomplishment of their career. He gets fitted for the jacket. So they are now custom making his new green jacket. I've already clicked off of the website that told me who is making the green jacket. But yeah,
Brooks something.
Yeah, I think there was a new one that they started. I say a new one, like they started doing it. It started back in 1967. Is who they switched companies to. But anyway, all the rules for the green jacket, it's actually pretty strict. Let me give you. I've got this back. This is from golf.com here. Let's see. The jackets were not given to Masters champions until 1949 when Sam Snead won. They were then awarded.
Player caddied that one.
Huh?
Yeah,
That's right. I think that's
Yeah.
that's probably how it all got started in 1949. Is Larry was caddying. It was like, we really should give the winner a prize around here.
Yeah.
That's probably exactly what happened.
Gamecock Larry was wearing a green jacket that weekend and said, "You know what? Just give him this."
That's what happened. Actually, there was Sam Snead won, and he looked cold, and Gamecock
do-
Larry being a
Yes.
man of the people that he is,
Yeah.
was like, here, take my jacket. And he put his jacket on Sam Snead.
I
Boom.
kind of like this bit because we can just start turning Gamecock Larry into like our version of Forrest Gump, where he just plays key roles in all of the sports moments of the last
Absolutely.
60 years.
It's
Yeah.
true. Yeah, it's
I'm
good.
loving this.
That's a good point. A few other things here on this. Jackets are reserved for club members and Masters winners. That's it. And it says, don't even think about taking them off the grounds. That right is reserved only for the reigning champion after their victory. But when their year is up, they return next April to defend their title. The jacket stays put as soon as the new champion puts theirs on. So
What
Scott,
would they actually do if Tiger Woods said, I'm taking my jacket?
There has
I
to be
think they
one
would say
that
no.
keep- I
And
mean,
then, and then it,
Stop me.
yeah.
What would they do? Physically
Yeah, they send out. I'm sure they've got a couple of those green jacket guys are a little bit bigger
Send-
physically than we
send some-
realize. Yeah,
send some thugs to his house to steal the jacket
the
back?
Masters Mafia does appear
Dude,
to
if
be a
I
very
was Tiger
led by
Woods-
Gamecock Larry, of course.
Tiger Woods is bigger than Augusta Country Club. Like
Yeah.
Ooh, I
if he
don't know.
takes the jacket home, stuffs it in his bag and brings it home to put one in his
seeing it
closet.
wadded up in his little duffel bag. Yeah.
And hangs it up in his closet. What are they gonna do?
Why, I don't understand why there isn't like a replica or like a duplicate made so that there's one that always stays in Augusta, but then you have one that you could have on display in your own home. I mean,
And I would imagine you can have a replica. It might not be. Let me finish reading something. It says
Okay.
there are, however, certain times Masters champions get to wear their jacket off ground, which is when they might be representing the tournament or club at a function or event. Okay, so if you got something important and you want your Masters jacket there, you can have it. Let's see. It says as the Masters nears its finish, the club will select a few jackets that might fit the potential winner. The jacket the winner gets the night of their victory is not the one they keep. They are fitted immediately after the win and receive the new one shortly thereafter. There has been one time that they did sell a jacket. Green Jacket Auctions sold the inaugural Augusta National Invitational winners Horton Smith's jacket. You guys want to ballpark how much they sold? They just take just $500,000, $1 million, $1.5 million. You want to just
yeah.
the inaugural Augusta National Invitational winner Horton Smith.
The first ever green jacket.
They sold his jacket
$3 million.
in 2013. Jen, you want to just ballpark one?
I was 2.5 was coming to my mind.
I was going to go well into where y'all are at. Sold for $682,229. Below
That's
$1 million.
all.
Yeah.
Really?
So it turns out
They could resell it right now and make $1 million.
I would assume so. So there's just some of the
But
rules.
you know
I
what?
just want to know the or what. You can't take it off the premise or what. What are they going to do? Genuinely, what are they going to do? Nothing. They're not going to do anything.
Yeah, when the Augusta police show up or, the police in your town.
Yeah. I mean, is it their property or is it your property? It's your jacket.
Mhm.
Will they say it's stolen property if you
If-
take it off the premises?
If this jacket fits, you must agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
The
boy.
jacket. That's actually.
Okay.
It's
the
my
green jacket
it's nobody
fits.
else's.
803-404-6100. We'll continue talking about the green jacket that Scotty Scheffler now gets to wear around for a year before it gets retired to its permanent home at Augusta National. DJ asks on the text line, he says, are they charging for the spring game? No, it is free to attend. They will have concessions, though.
$10 parking.
$10 parking at the Lexington Medical Fairgrounds parking lot. I believe it's free, though, if what I just read was correct.
Yeah, the game's free.
Well, no, the game's free, but I believe the Gamecock Park is free to park in. So, and of course, there'll be a concert, Patrick Davis as well. We'll have a lot more on this throughout the week. Also, just want to remind you, while I'm talking about events this week, the city of Columbia has announced plans for a parade for Dawn Staley and the women's basketball team to celebrate the 2022 national championship game. That'll be Wednesday night, 6 p.m. On Main Street. More details are still to come, but this coming Wednesday, the 13th, 6 p.m., South Carolina women's basketball team will have their 2022 national championship celebrated with a parade here in Columbia. They're still working on plans for parking and road closure. So just keep paying attention. We'll continue to get you the information as we roll along. It is the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Did you read the article about Brooklyn Beckham's wedding?
I didn't get. Apparently, I clicked off of it.
Snoop Dogg DJ'd. Bruno Mars also played for the crowd, performed for the crowd. $4 million. She is filthy rich. She's a billionaire heiress and also an actress. She's from America, Miami, I think. Transformers, the newest one. She played Mark Wahlberg's daughter in like the new Transformers that was really bad. And she was also in another movie. What was the other movie that I haven't seen? I don't think. Bates Motel TV show. Her father is a billionaire investor, Nelson Peltz. I'd never heard of the investment firm, whatever. The Trian Fund Management. You ever heard of that? Oh. Trian Fund Management. How many of the Spice Girls could you name? Which one?
The one married to David Beckham.
Ginger Spice is married to the president of Red Bull Racing in Formula One.
Wasn't there was a Sporty Spice, Ginger Spice.
She's Victoria Beckham is Posh Spice.
Posh Spice, yeah. Victoria Beckham, thank you. Yeah, it's good for them. They stayed together.
What's Sporty Spice up to? She is... I don't know. It's hard to tell what she's up to these days.
I don't know. I was looking to see how old. Oh, man. I don't know whether I'm impressed that Victoria Beckham's only 47 or I feel old now.
Scary Spice.
There was a Scary Spice.
Baby Spice. Sporty Spice. Ginger Spice. And Posh Spice. Wait. Scary Spice is dating Eddie Murphy or married to Eddie Murphy.
Is that Mel B?
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently she. Well, I don't know. It says spouses, but it's got partners, and it's got
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy in 2006, but she was then married to Stephen Belafonte in 2007, and they divorced in 2017.
Interesting. Spice Girls trivia.
Final few minutes of the Monday morning edition of the early game coming up next. Pearson Fowler will get you through. Then Jay, Tommy, and Terry from 12 to 3, and Heath Klein.
Pearson's going to talk about the big Man City Liverpool game over the weekend. 2-2 tie, two teams at the top of the Premier League.
Is that what it was? That was yesterday, right?
Yeah.
I had that on. I actually watched a little bit of it prior to the South Carolina baseball game yesterday. I had that on. There was actually a pretty good goal scored. Like, I don't know. I've gotten into it. Austin playing soccer. I pay more attention to soccer now. I've started to. I feel like it's a good thing for me to have on in the mornings. Okay.
Yeah, on the weekend
Like,
mornings,
yeah,
7:30 kickoffs.
Or
Yeah, they're
wake
nice.
up. I usually
It
have
is
a cup of
nice.
coffee. Have some soccer. I'm
Watch
learning a little
English
bit.
Soccer. Yeah.
I'm learning a little bit. We're heading down a path. I'm not going to be able to have a conversation with Pearson and with Jay about it, but I can certainly.
You have to pick a favorite team.
I'm not even 100% sure I know what teams are in what leagues. Like, I don't.
Doesn't matter in England, they go up and down.
No, I mean, like, I don't know if Man City or you or whomever, Chelsea, like, they're in the English league, and I don't know. There's the Bundesliga, which is I guess the Germany
That
league,
is the German league.
and then there's the Premier League.
The Premier League is the English league.
Okay, I got no clue, man. It's right now. I'm worried about Lexington Soccer Academy and my son Austin trying to deal with. We played the SC UFC United team this week. We played I'll give this kid a shout out, man. We played a little kid that plays for the South Carolina United Football Club, whatever they are. He plays on the blue team. Apparently, he's a 2013 kid. The kid should go play professionally. His name is Charles. If you know Charles out there, and he plays for the South Carolina United FC League, my goodness, the kid had 4 goals on us, and all 4 of them should have been professional goals this past weekend. I was impressed. It's just the kid deserves a shout out. I think he's 9 or 8. If you know Charles, who plays in the South Carolina United FC League for the blue team, give that kid a high five because good grief. And you knew he was going to be a good player because he had on hot pink shoes too. That's how you go out there and I look at the shoes. I'm like, all right, that kid's going to be really good. And sure enough, he just walloped us. All right, what have you got up on the live stream?
I just put up on the live stream. I guess Scotty Scheffler was interviewed, and someone asked him yesterday what's going to be on his Masters Champions dinner. This was retweeted by Brian Glenn. It just says a lot of stuff: cheeseburgers, steaks, stuff like that. The most boring guy in the world continues on. Yeah, I don't know, stuff. There's gonna be a lot of stuff.
We look forward to that next year. Scotty Scheffler's Champions Dinner. Again, we talked about a lot this morning. Obviously, final thoughts on the Masters. We'll now turn our attention to the RBC Heritage this week down in Hilton Head. Look forward to trying to get down there Friday to hang out with our buddy Benji Getsy and his 18th Fairway VIP tent and be a part of that. Patrick, I would encourage you. I know you're going out of town this weekend, but I'll continue to say, if you want to go to a party, you want to experience a party that there's some people playing golf in the background, the Heritage is the place to go. It is a phenomenal event. It's again, one of the better events our state has each and every year down there in Hilton Head, and definitely worth a trip.
Unfortunately, overlapping with the spring game, though.
Yep, that's okay. You can get down there throughout the week, obviously today through Friday, and then the spring game. Hope I believe it was Hope on our Buford Lending live stream was asking again, the spring game on Saturday night, it will be live streamed. It will, I guess you could say televised now the way it works. You can go to your ESPN app or it'll be on the SEC Network Plus. You can live stream it. It will not be on the SEC channel. They will re-air it at a later date and use that for some summertime stuff, summertime viewing, but it will not be aired like on the SEC Network or ESPN this coming weekend. That's something that they have gone away from doing and then using it for content later on. So we got that as well. Talked baseball this morning, Patrick, and we'll see this week. They played North Florida. on Tuesday, and then a Thursday, Friday set against Mississippi. So all that. What else did you take away from the weekend? Any lacrosse? Did you get into the lacrosse this weekend?
Maryland played at 7 last night, just absolutely destroyed Rutgers. Maryland is just in a league of their own right now. They might be the best offensive team I've ever seen in my life. They are an absolute machine. So that was the only takeaway. I don't know who's going to beat Maryland. They always sort of crumble on championship weekend. So we'll see what happens on Memorial Day weekend. But right now they look unstoppable.
Okay.
Crushed Rutgers yesterday.
So we got that. The NBA did officially wrap up. We told you we'd give you just a few minutes of NBA discussion. They officially wrapped up this weekend. It is playoff time for them. But Patrick, the one storyline, Frank Vogel out as head coach with the Lakers.
Shocker.
And LeBron and AD, I don't want to say is LeBron done. That seems unfair to say, but he is getting up there in age, and he's only got 3 or 4 years left. Do you ever see LeBron back in another World Championship Series?
Yeah, probably. I mean, he's gonna trade everybody this year. I actually saw that the leader for Russ next year, or there's a lot of rumors at least that Russ is gonna end up in Charlotte.
Ew.
Yucky. Yeah, LeBron's getting rid of everyone. He's gonna trade everyone. He's gonna try and find his way to get 2 other superstars in their prime, and all he cares about right now is becoming the all-time scoring leader. So he's got approximately 1,000 points to go, I think, to catch Kareem. So he's gonna be more concerned with that than anything next year.
He will be 38 next December 30th. So yeah, and he's kind of admitted that his time in the NBA is limited. I think he's trying to plan.
He's
it
still
out.
playing at a high level.
Yeah, he is.
Like a very, very high level.
But he's kind of admitted that his time is limited.
Yeah.
Possibly playing.
But playing games tomorrow. Cleveland at Brooklyn, LA at Minnesota. Then Wednesday is the Hawks playing the Hornets, and then San Antonio, New Orleans. So a lot of kind of intriguing matchups. I mean, Brooklyn's got Kyrie back now. I actually think Brooklyn might make a finals run.
Okay.
There's also rumors that Ben Simmons might come back, which I think Steve Nash poo-pooed yesterday. But I don't know. The playing games are relatively interesting. I'll get into the playoffs, though, the actual playoffs.
And finally, the most depressing thing from the weekend, the saddest thing, Reggie Anderson once again picks the winner. He picked the winner 2 weeks ago. I picked the winner last week, and this past weekend, Reggie scores with William Byron. Unbelievable that Reggie Anderson, who is having a career year in the NASCAR Pick'em.
I'm pretty excited about him, to be honest.
How'd we do? How'd the rest of us do this weekend? Do you have the?
You didn't do well.
Really?
No, you came in last place.
Yeah, you came in last. Truex came in 22nd. So it was Byron who won it. I had Blaney who came in 4th. Carrie had Elliott came in 10th, and your Truex came in 22nd.
Bad. I knew I should have taken Blaney. I shouldn't have allowed. Yeah,
really?
I really should have put my foot down on that one.
And I had a winner this season too, so keep that in mind.
Yeah,
I tell you what, I'm loving this next gen car.
Okay, all right. We'll catch up with Carrie Tharp on Thursday to get more of that. We got plenty coming up this week as we get you ready. Easter weekend in front of us, spring game, RBC Heritage, and lots of draft talk from Patrick Perret. So we got plenty to get to
We
this
need to
weekend.
have an Easter egg hunt around here.
Ooh, Easter egg hunt. I like that.
It'd be fun.
Okay, all right. So we got a lot for you to get into it with
Hop
us
on
this
it.
weekend. Have a great rest of the day. We'll be back tomorrow.
Alrighty. Everybody have a awesome day. Anthony, we'll see y'all tomorrow.
Yeah.